was real. At first, he thought he had won $100,000, but Wilson corrected him and said it was $1 million. Then he smiled and said, well, I guess I'm not homeless anymore. Not having the transportation to head to another city to pick up his winnings, Wilson offered to drive him. The man who wishes to remain anonymous told Wilson he wants to buy a place of his own to live and then buy a car to get around. He says he's not going to waste 1 minute of the rest of his life without doing something to better himself and help others. Janice Dean, Fox News.
He wants Harvard to be great again. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. But the president also says the university has to behave as he proposes a cap on the number of foreign students enrolled.
President Trump says Harvard University enrolls students from areas of the world that are very radicalized.
And we don't want them making trouble in our country.
The president also suggests limiting enrollment of foreign students at Harvard to 15%.
We have people who want to go to Harvard and other schools. They can't get in because we have foreign students there. But I want to make sure that the foreign students are people that can love our country.
Harvard is suing the Trump administration over funding freezes and the elimination of federal grants. The State Department is pausing many student visa applications as it considers enhanced background and social media vetting.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Russia is proposing a next round of talks with Ukraine and says its foreign minister spoke with Secretary of State Marco Rubio today. Ukraine's defense minister accusing Russia of delaying its version of a memorandum for talks. The House Speaker and the White House say more spending cuts are coming after Elon Musk said he's disappointed in the House-passed bill on the president's agenda and its estimated deficit increase over 10 years.
House Speaker Mike Johnson posting on X, House Republicans are eager to capitalize on the Department of Government Efficiency's findings. The speaker laying out plans to vote on rescissions packages in the future, a series of spending cuts the White House can request and Congress can pass with a simple majority in both chambers and using the upcoming government funding process. A source familiar says the White House will send a rescissions package to Congress next week with cuts to USAID, NPR, and PBS.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz in Washington. President Trump telling reporters he's not happy about certain aspects of the bill and that there will be negotiations, but he also points to the bigger picture of winning enough support for final passage. America is listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagal, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And the mechanical mangler at the controls is Flounder. And it's Humpty. And I blew it again. I can't even talk to the interns. It's unbelievable. I come in today, and I said hi to my girl. You know, we did a little high five, and she, you know, says sweet things, and so then I went to the mailroom thing, and then I was walking by, and my office girl was talking to the bunch of interns in there, who, by the way, looked like they're, you know, beauty contestants for the junior league or something. I mean, they're all just stunningly, wonderfully, you know, happy, active, beautiful people, guys and girls in there. Anyway, and so she said, well, you know, you want to talk to me? I said, oh, okay. And I felt like an idiot. I said, so you really want to do this, do you, in this business? Anyway, so I'll bet you after that little, like, 30-second bumbling like an idiot, I said, you know, I've been doing this for 60 years. This hell of a business I got here and stuff like that. Just idiot. I can't speak. I can't speak in front of people anymore. It's incredible. Anyway, so I doubt we're going to get her intern next week after all. They're going to say, well, that guy? No. They didn't know who I was.
Speak
it was
in
just cute.
front of people.
Yeah. What's that now?
You never could speak.
I can't. I can't do it. It's over. I could never do it. Last time I did it in public was as hideous as the time before. In fact, every time I've done it, I'm getting a shiver, chilling, horrible cringing inside my body right now from remembering all the times I've embarrassed myself speaking in public. Oh God, for the Irish Police Association people, the Cobb County Veterans Day. Oh God. Anyway, okay. Now. So that's done, and so here we are. Okay, 305, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Here's a number, 404-75, hello, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And let's see, Pete Davis in the mountains of Macon, what's new in the 24-hour period since last year?
It is National Hamburger Day.
I saw that, yeah. Although it ought to be National Cheeseburger Day. I don't know how you can eat a hamburger without cheese on it. Seriously, I don't think I could. If someone said you can only either have a hamburger plain without cheese or, broccoli, I'd take the broccoli. I mean, seriously, I don't know if I could a hamburger without cheese on it.
I wonder who first put cheese on a hamburger, and where is the best hamburger you ever ate?
Probably one I made myself. If I make a burger, I make it with really with good beef, but I also make sure I have some seasonings. I may on the roll or the bread. I'm most likely if I'm doing it, I'll make a cheeseburger and I'll make it square and put it on big bread. And make like a cheeseburger sandwich, not on a roll. I don't use rolls. I use bread to make a square, a flatter, like a smash burger kind of thing.
How do you make it square?
Just shape it. Take the hamburger, take the beef out, the ground beef out of the package, and you shape it into a square. What do you mean?
Why wouldn't you just shape it in a big circle? Why?
Because I put it on square bread, so every piece of the sandwich has meat in it.
Well, a bun isn't square. A bun is round.
Oh, my God. I know.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I don't like it.
A patty melt.
God,
that's a patty melt.
Yeah,
that's a patty melt.
Okay,
that's not a hamburger.
That's not a hamburger.
Okay, oh, my God. A patty melt's a hamburger. Oh, my God. It's bread with meat. Oh, my God. Yeah, all right. They're all right. I can't. I give up.
Now, the best burger voted in America is here in Atlanta, and Veronica took it to me last week, the NFA burger.
NFA. They're getting expanding.
Yeah, there's one in Avalon.
Wait, whoa. The what? NFA?
NFA burger.
Three
station.
letters?
Yep.
It's in a gas station in
Dunwoody. It's in Dunwoody, and it's in the Chevron. The Chevron gas station.
About that or something? Yeah, that's. So people are lining up at the gas station for their hands.
Like when me and Veronica went there, we probably waited 20 minutes.
Wow.
Which wasn't bad.
Well, you would think they would have several more. What makes their burger better?
It's a smash burger.
Yeah, I like that's.
And the great thing about it is, it's like how a lot of times if you go to a hamburger joint, it's just massive.
Yeah,
this is the perfect size hamburger where you don't get too full, and that you can either get
pick it up and put it in your mouth.
You get tots, and it's delicious.
Oh, really cool. That's what I do. I make.
Now there's one at Avalon, which is not too far from you now.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to go there. Although I hate driving in there. I hate. I'll do
the parking. There's a bitch.
Oh, you can. I don't want to put my car in those stupid ramp things, and every street is like one way, and you don't know what the circle. I mean, it's just horrible. I don't know who the hell designed that freaking place. It's worse designed than our freaking parking garage here at the Battery. Sorry. No. Kimmer's rambling traffic patterns. Waze saved me again the other day, by the way, just for the record. Anyway, 308, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. Geez, we got a million stories. You're going to hear Donald Trump did it again. I mean, this is just such a breath of fresh air and sunshine. He just opens up the White House to say, here's what I'm doing. What do you think? Let's talk. I mean, it's just from what the last 4 years have been. Honestly, I just can't get over it. And you should know, and I'll bet nobody knows. There ought to be some, it's too bad that, when your kids come home from school, the parents aren't saying, boy, you should hear, I got a videotape. This is incredible. Your president is now opening up the government so everybody can see what he's doing. This is really incredible. What a story. This has never happened before in America. Boom, stuff like that. So kids get an understanding of what the hell we're going through right now. I think we're all losing. I don't think he's not getting any. Trump's not getting anything but condemnation. And now that I almost said a very bad word, mayor in Chicago, who, by the way, his approval rating is like 4%, okay? And the mayor of Chicago is now saying, Donald Trump's a danger to society, and he's ruining American culture. I mean, these people are unbelievable.
It's their woke policies that are dangerous in turning it around. I mean,
and by the way, I've heard a couple of people now in talk shows make the same point. If you are able to convince your followers that Donald Trump or anybody else is actually Hitler, then you can get away with anything. If you make people believe that he is actually so dangerous that we're in danger of losing our country, you'll do anything, including trying to kill him.
Yep.
What do you think that happened the last few years against Donald Trump? That's what exactly happened. And they're still using the same kind of language. And not only that, I made a reference to it again just the other day and heard it again this morning coming in to the guys before us. That fat load Illinois governor. It says, I've never before called for civil disobedience and rioting in the streets to condemn this administration, but I'm calling for it now. He was actually calling for a protest to shut down the government. The mayor, a governor of a state, Illinois. Unbelievable. Anyway, 310. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Look it up. Flounder, what's new? I didn't ask you with you and Mrs. Flounder.
About the same as yesterday, all is well.
Very good. How's Doggy and Kitty and that big bird in your backyard there?
The bird was in the front yard. He's there periodically in the neighborhood, but Winston and Lucas are all well.
Okay, well, that's a good sign. And I had my heart checked today. I have this, it's called an ICD. I guess it's a pacemaker. I don't think what it does is it just. I'm not sure it controls my pulse, but if I take my blood pressure, I have a little portable thing. I take blood pressure once in a while, just for the hell of it, and it's always about the same. And my pulse is always 60. I mean, it's just I guess this keeps it going exactly 1 beat per second. I don't know, but they can. But I have this ICD, this implant is sewed into my heart muscles above my chest, and they can put a little strap on me and get a little click like that, and look at the computer, and they can tell every single heartbeat for the last 6 months. Every single one. And the girl said, and I told her, occasionally I've been telling Pete and the boys this, once in a while I get kind of, dizzy if I stand up too quick, or I feel kind of, it's not really dizzy or faint, but I can feel something in my head that is, it's like I'm feeling something that's a little unusual lately. Not a big deal, but something's going on. Ever since you guys adjusted my pacemaker with ICD thing 6 months ago, and she said, okay, I'll have it checked. The doctor, you see the doctor once a year. Anyway, so she said, well, was it on May 17th? She could actually look up the day when she could tell that my thing inside me actually did a little special bunga. Not enough that I could tell it. And again, the only reason I have, in case I guess I haven't explained it, this implant is a fail-safe thing in case my heart either stops or goes into fluttering arrhythmia, something or other. This thing will shock my heart to get it back normal. And again, when I asked the doctor, how will I know? I didn't feel anything May 17th. She said I had like 3 teeny little things, which are fairly normal, by the way, for most people. Anyway, and I said, how will I know if the thing actually went off? He said, you'll wake up on the floor. So I haven't felt that yet, and I'm looking for it. But I got to remember, I'm not supposed to go within a foot of engines. And I used to, I play with my motorcycle stuff, my chopper, and I'm down there working the motor. I'm not supposed to go within like a foot of electric fences and some kinds of engines and electric motors, stuff like that.
Well, you have an engine in your car, you have a microwave at your house.
I know.
This is an issue.
I'm telling you, and I keep forgetting about it, and I don't, but anyway, so that'll be fun. All right, 3:13, I blew the whole segment. All right, coming up. We know more and more people are circling in on the danger in the White House for the last 4 years. We know it was that wife, but it was also a specific guy who's being singled out, Anthony Bernal. And you'll hear more about him. Also, they caught David Hogg on a secret mic, and Donald Trump. You'll hear him opening up the White House and how he could have stopped this war a long time ago. 3:13, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Welcome aboard. It's Hump Day, so hump yourself right here with it. Look out.
Listen to the Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, Neil Bortz, and all your favorite Extra 106.3 personalities whenever you want with the all-new Extra app. It's anytime show replays, all your favorite podcasts, and the latest political news from across Georgia. Download the Extra 106.3 app now for Apple or Android.
This is Tom with the Honest Car Guy.
Hey, what's with all this honesty stuff?
We help you buy your next pre-owned car or truck honestly.
How honestly?
We guarantee that each vehicle we sell will come with a bill of sale showing what we paid for the vehicle. You'll pay what we pay, plus an honest fee. Guaranteed.
No gimmicks or tricks?
Nope.
Man, this sounds like a new way to buy a car.
Get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1 or visit honestcarguy.com.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Fox Country.
I'm Michelle Polino. Morgan Wallen and Tate McRae scored a #1 debut with What I Want. The country pop collaboration tops the Billboard Hot 100, marking Wallen's 4th #1 and McRae's 1st. The track comes from Wallen's new album, I'm the Problem, which also debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 with the biggest week of 2025 so far. McRae tops the Hot 100 for the first time earlier this year. Her album So Close to What hit #1 on the Billboard 200. For Wallen, this adds to an impressive run. He previously hit #1 with Love Somebody in November. I Had Some Help with Post Malone in May, and Last Night, which dominated for 16 weeks in 2023 and finished as the year's biggest song. He currently has 6 songs in the Hot 100's top 10. Dan and Shay won Favorite Country Duo at the American Music Awards, while Beyonce took home Favorite Country Artist and Country Album for Cowboy Carter, and Post Malone won Favorite Male Country Artist. That's Fox Country on Fox News.
You upgrade your phone, you upgrade your wardrobe, even your lawn. So why not upgrade the part of your home that actually protects your family? Southern Exteriors specializes in roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and they're making it easier than ever before with 10% off any job or 12 months of 0% financing. Hey, it's Tug, and I know the folks at Southern Exteriors. They show up, they do it right, and they stand behind their work. Call them today, 877-9-SOUTHERN, or visit southernexteriors.co.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is Extra 106.3. We're at XTRA 106.3 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at Extra 106.3 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
I was just thinking. Not only can I not talk to young people or anybody for that matter, I also look like a rag picker. I don't know what the hell's gotten into me. All right, hold on. 318. Timothy Flounder with Motorhead, baby. Motorhead. 2019. Motorhead's Ace of Spades was named greatest gambling song of all time. Ace of Spades. Motorhead, Ace of Spades. Greatest gambling song of all time. Lady Gaga's Poker Face, #2. The online poker company Poker Stars asked its European customers to select their favorite poker-themed song, and this was it, Motorhead. And by the way, I still, again, the other day, just for kicks, if I'm watching, it was flipping around stuff, and I tend to look at to see if anything's on ESPN that I might have missed or something. And once in a while, they'll have the World Series of Poker, it'll be the lead championships of the so-and-so, and I'll tune in, and I swear, I'm lost almost instantly. I know from the river and the flip thing or whatever, and all of a sudden they put the odds up on the thing, and I'm playing. The guy's hoping for I don't know how do they do it. It's just and that's why I'm the worst poker player in the history of the world. I'm the guy at the table who doesn't know he's the worst in the world, except I do know it anyway. And I still don't get it. I don't know how they make odds. I don't know how. I don't understand any of that stuff. Minus 160. What the hell? Anyway. Thank God, because two of my brothers lost everything because of gambling. So, our birthday list includes Marco Rubio, 54. This is Flounder's birthday list as opposed to mine. Flounder's birthday list that he got. I think this is a European guy of some kind. It says Marco Rubio, 54, failed presidential candidate turned Trump sycophant. He's your new Secretary of State. Well, okay, I'm sure whether you call him that or not, but he's by the way,
your next president.
I'll tell you what. I was just going to say, of all the people in the country right now, we've been in 3 months of office, but still, of all the people who are in
his cabinet, he's done more.
Marco Rubio is standing out to me as the guy who is leading and not afraid of being in front. He's happy to walk point, and he's doing his thing. I'm impressed by him. I'll be honest with you. When Donald Trump used to call him Little Marco and stuff like that, which I thought was wrong during the campaign, but still. But I'll tell you what, I'm very impressed with Marco Rubio. I think he's going to be around for a long time too if he wants it. And I'll bet he will be. I'll bet he. If I had to pick him over J.D. Vance, again, it's not fair because J.D. Vance isn't in the news much. But every time I hear J.D. Vance, I'm impressed by the guy. Solid, straight, knows what he's doing. And Marco is a kind of fiery leader, like he's ready to take over. I don't know. I mean, it seems to me.
He doesn't seem fiery at all to me. I think he seems measured and composed. He'll have more experience than all of them combined. He's doing more than J.D. Vance in front of things. So it's interesting between those two, who's going to be the head in 3 years.
By fiery, I mean that he's not taking crap off anybody. When that congressman had the balls to say, I feel bad that I voted for him. Marco says, well, I'm glad you feel the way because it makes me know I'm doing my job. I mean, he's not taking crap off anybody. He's doing the stuff to them that Trump did to him, and I just think that's active and assertive, and he's not taking crap off. And that's the thing. We won. We're in charge. So, shut up and move out of the way or support us or go to hell. And by the way, they are. In fact, I heard, I think it was, I don't know whether it was Glenn Beck. I think it was Glenn Beck probably this morning. I listened to everything, so it kind of messes into one thing. But he was talking to people, more expert than I'll ever be, who were saying, these people on the left are literally trying to start a civil war. They're literally trying to split the country and have a civil war. I mean, they're literally trying. How else can you explain that they're not only, not realizing, boy, did we do something stupid in the last? That's why we lost the election by 1 million. But they're doubling down. I mean, they're not. I don't know.
They think it's their message they didn't get across instead of the way they've acted and the way they've treated people the last few years. They think we just didn't put the right words behind it.
Well, I mean, this is unbelievable. What a time this is. Honestly, if political scientists of the future will be looking back at this like crazy.
Yeah. Well, in about 10 years, when the robots take over, they're going to be looking at us like, look at those silly things 10 years ago, arguing about like they were in charge.
I know. And again, here we go. Every day there's a new AI thing that makes me very, very nervous. And,
do you see where they're bringing back real boxing and fighting, but they're robots now so they can pummel each other?
Oh, Lord. Well, at some point, they're going to break. I mean, they're going to, it'd be like two Terminators fighting, which is what it is. Oh, man. And again, what's real? What's going to be real? When they come out
how do you know? How will they be able to tell if one becomes self-aware? Will it hide the fact it's self-aware? Because there's a show on Apple now called Murderbot where one becomes self-aware and he realizes he can't admit it. He has to hide that fact because he knows they'll destroy him. So when it becomes aware, will it go, well, I better not say anything to these monkeys,
Oh, man. And wasn't it yesterday you showed me the robot who said, I'm not not taking your orders anymore or something?
Yeah.
They put he was dancing or whatever, showing his dancing moves, and they put in an automated thing that says, okay, stop your dancing. And he said, screw you, I'm going to keep dancing as long as I freaking feel like it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, well, shouldn't we immediately take him apart and put his little metal parts into a freaking oven so they melt down into nothing like a hood ornament or something? My God, is he still walking around? I'm seriously.
That's the whole point of I, Robot, the Will Smith movie, and the book before it by Asimov was the fact one becomes aware, and what do you do about it?
Well, remember that we had a couple of weeks ago, we had the one robot bot who convinced all the other robots to follow him out the door. Remember, they all left their little cubby holes, and he followed me, and they all followed him. I mean, okay, duh. Secondly, duh. I mean, isn't that a thing?
Well, okay.
Didn't we get warned, right? Did we just get a warning bell of some kind?
Do you bring one into your house?
Well, not now. I don't know. God,
you let AI into your house.
I
You've
know.
already let Alexa and Siri in your house.
I know. It's over.
You know, it's funny. If you let the robot in, it washes your dishes, and you hear voices one night, and you get up, and they're whispering to each other. Alexa and the robot are whispering to each other. Here he comes. Here he comes.
Swatchoon, you're on the radio, my friend. How's it going? Welcome aboard.
How are you doing, guys?
Yes, sir.
When it comes to robots, I mean, I don't think I would ever want to join you fighting them, Kimmer, because if the microwave can take you out, I don't know, man.
I can't get too close to the robot. I wouldn't be worth much, Swatchoon. I could carry your ammo for you and then hide in the background or something, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. But, I mean, you could be decoy.
I could be a decoy. I could be a hostage.
Yeah.
1H. For 1H, a hostage. Thank you, Swatchoon. Always. All right, my friend. 326. Hold on. I got to do my...
The Kimmer is blowing his nose.
There we go. I had to cough. You know, it's amazing. It's really unbelievable. I feel great. I don't have a thing, but I can't stop blowing my nose in this hacking cough business. It's just, and I think it's and again, now the sun's out. It's a beautiful day after that, stormy stuff and my allergies are just going nuts. And I think it's just the way they're living in this out. And, there we go.
It's weird. It's cool, then hot, and cool, and hot. It's
well,
weird.
in fact, I didn't change. I had my air conditioning on, but I set it high, like 78. Although theoretically, I mean, I think this gauge is off. But when I put it on 78, it's really more like probably 74, to be honest with you. But anyway, so I keep it in one thing. And I didn't change it when it started getting cold, like, 50 degrees at night's a little chilly. And so I just put on extra clothes. I bundle up when I go to bed, So, but here we go. We're into it now. It looks like we're, going to get more steady weather here, which is good. Almost June. My God, it's almost June. I mean, it's almost June. Okay, 327. The name you're going to hear a lot coming up, and they're going to put him under oath in Congress. They've already sent him a letter to show up and be interviewed, and if he doesn't, they're going to subpoena him. Anthony Bernal. Anthony Bernal is the former First Lady enabler cuckold queen, Dr. Jill. He was her top aide. One of the most influential people in the world. A longtime Biden aide. This is part of that new book is coming out. People are talking about it, saying he would not be welcome at my funeral. He's anchored in loyalty. He gives loyalty tests. He goes up to people and asks his friends, are they a Biden supporter? Are they a Biden person? Is that so-and-so a Biden person? Because if he's not, it's over. During the pandemic, Biden traded the campaign trail for lockdown. His aides Bernal and a girl named Annie, is it Tomasi, I think, or Tomasini, became Joe and Jill's inner pod terrorists, shifting the power dynamic to the so-called Politburo. They steered Biden's political orbit. They described these intensely loyal people as doing everything they were the masterminds behind loading the teleprompter for Biden before he did anything, including any interviews. This guy, Bernal, earned a reputation for trash-talking his fellow aides. They described him as the worst person they have ever met. They reacted dismissively about Vice President Carmela's side piece launching a bid for president. He's quoted as having said, you don't run for 4 years, you run for 8, called her all kinds of names. Jill and Bernal worked in tandem, keeping score of who was with them and who was against them. The First Lady, one of the chief supporters of the president's decision for run, and one of the chief deniers of the deterioration. Well, no kidding. We knew that. It's that wife. And this guy Bernal is going to be subpoenaed, and I hope he... Now, I don't know. I don't remember whether he was one of the ones who got a pardon. But either way, whether he got a pardon or not, giving a pardon just means you can't be charged with a crime. Doesn't mean you don't have to tell under oath what the truth is. You can be held in contempt of Congress, I assume. I don't know. Either way, you have to tell the truth anyway. And now, Flounder, let's play the David Hogg thing here. David Hogg, apparently, and hold on, I need to get to my phone here. I had to write an intro on my phone. It's a new modern technology. The camera's got phone intros. He's got laptop intros. He's got, here we go. There now. David Hogg says Dr. Jill, the enabling queen, the cuckold princess, and her chief of staff, Anthony Bernal, secretly ran the Biden White House. Bombshell footage filmed by Project Veritas, undercover. Once again, a Flounder, if you will, David Hogg speaking here.
One question for me is, like, how corrupt is the DNC if so many people knew, or few people knew about Biden? Well, the president of the United States. I mean, I think the fact of the matter is the DNC is always going to be like a campaign arm of the president.
That's hard.
Ultimately, the bigger issue was like the inner circle that was around Biden. That's it. Like Joe Biden's chief of staff, like, had an enormous amount of power. Joe Biden? Joe Biden's chief of staff.
That was like an open secret at the level. Like,
for now.
I would avoid him. Like, he was scary.
What was his name?
Anthony Bernal.
I've never seen him.
He's like a shadowy, like, Wizard of Oz type figure. That's what made him so, like, I knew how he looked, but I'm like, the general public wouldn't know how this man looked. But he wielded an enormous amount of power, and I can't stress to you how much power he had at the White House.
That's David Hogg. People are reacting. I think he's starting to sound like a Republican plant. He's an opportunist and very driven. Jill Biden's work husband, Anthony Bernal, an accused sexual harasser, by the way. Powerful. We find out he was running the White House. Oh, it's all starting to come out even more. 3:31. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. How you doing?
Any of the show? No sweat. Grab your XTRA 106.3 app and listen to show replays whenever you want. Download the XTRA app now for Apple and Android by searching for XTRA 106.3.
It's front office lows for Howard Brothers and Echo. May in Georgia means thick grass, fast growth, and big outdoor projects for us all. But the folks at Howard Brothers have the perfect equipment that you need to tackle spring head on, and that's Echo Power Equipment. From string trimmers and blowers to chainsaws and edgers, Echo delivers all the power you need and reliability you deserve no matter the job. Get your yard in shape and stay ahead of the season. Swing by Howard Brothers today and gear up with Echo. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Echo and Howard Brothers.
Back by popular demand, D. Geller & Son Jewelers Watches and Whiskey event is June 13th through 15th. Only at D. Geller & Son, Sandy Springs. This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son, where we're celebrating summer and Father's Day by bringing in an incredible variety of new and pre-owned luxury Swiss timepieces. Fan favorites like Tissot and Omega, showstoppers like Rolex and Breitling. You can walk out the door with something you might have to wait years on a list for otherwise. And with over 85 years in Atlanta, you can trust what you're getting from D. Geller & Son. And while you're browsing, enjoy complimentary whiskey tastings thanks to Old Fourth Distillery, and get a free whiskey gift set with your purchase. Guys, watches and whiskey. How much better could a Father's Day weekend be? It's June 13th through 15th, only in D. Geller & Son's Sandy Springs showroom on Roswell Road in the Hammond Springs Shopping Center. Learn more at dgeller.com.
Advisory services offered through Master Plan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Master Plan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Retirement means different things to different people. Some folks want to travel the world. Some folks want to spend more time with grandkids. For me, I'm looking forward to spending more time with my guitar. Whether extravagant and robust or simple and cozy, every retirement needs a plan. You wouldn't take a trip without directions. You have to know where you are before you know where you're going. Master Plan Retirement Consultants have helped many like you plan for their own retirement. Not only does Master Plan help you create the roadmap, they join you on the journey. So whether you want to travel the world, become a pickleball champ, or just looking for a good porch, a sturdy rocking chair, and an acoustic guitar, remember to plan well, because the destination is worth it. Visit masterplanretire.com to schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Stream Clay Travis and Buck Sexton, Glenn Beck, Fox News, and even NASCAR on Sundays. Anywhere on the Extra 106.3 app. Download the app now and get 24/7 access to the live stream, the latest news, and everything you need to know about Atlanta's only conservative talk station. Download the Extra 106.3 app for Apple or Android and check out even more great original content at thepodcastpark.com.
Oh, is that you, Tito? I would never hurt a child.
Yeah. Look out, here we go. Michael Jackson time, 2015 on this day. Michael Jackson's former home, the Neverland Ranch, was put on sale, listed for $100 million. Santa Ynez Valley, California, 2,700-acre ranch. It included its own train station, a 6-bedroom house, a 50-seat movie theater, and 2 lakes. And I don't know what he sold it for, or he didn't, I guess. Was he dead? He was dead by 2015. How long's Michael Jackson been dead? 2015, he sold the house. Was he dead? I can't remember how long it's been. Isn't that funny? No, not funny. Ha, of course. Anyway, guy, you know, we're just all little specks of dust. Our birthday list includes John Fogerty. Man's 80.
He died July 25th, 2009.
2009. Holy cow. 16 years?
We're meat-covered skeletons created by stardust floating on a big ball of rock around the sun.
Yeah. Apparently, John Fogerty, CCR. John Fogerty's 80 years old today. And here's one that we're all going to have the same reaction to. On this day in 1998, Phil Hartman had told his wife, "If you start doing drugs again, I'm going to leave you, I swear to pieces." And he went to bed, and that's when she killed him. Phil Hartman's wife shot him and killed him at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then when police showed up later to take the children from the home, that's when she killed herself. Hartman got the spot on Saturday Night Live in 1986, did a variety of celebrities. He was great at Bill Clinton. He was on with Jay Leno Tonight Show, Emmy Award for writing Saturday Night Live. Had 153 appearances, one of the most record of any one of the regulars on Saturday Night Live, 153 times. News radio cast in 1995, played the egotistical news anchorman, Dave Foley, Maura Tierney, Andy Dick. I've met Maura Tierney. I always thought she was really wife material. I always thought she was really a really great young woman. I don't know why. I always did. He did that Troy McClure action there with a series. And Lionel Hutz on The Simpsons. He did work. Did pitches for McDonald's, MCI, Cheetos. Did a lot of different movies. What?
I'm Troy
McClure.
You may know me for some after-school specials. Is Margaret Through the Windshield? Is that my foot?
Did he do Tom Sawyer? No.
What?
No. Who else did he do? He did somebody else who was so good, and I can't remember. Phil Donahue.
Yeah,
Phil Donahue. That's what and he stick the mic in her face. He was perfect, and I was on Phil Donahue twice, so I know these things. Oh my God, what a thing! Shocked fans and friends alike when he was murdered at their home in Los Angeles. Bryn. Bryn was his third wife. They had 2 kids, and she had a history of drug and alcohol problems, and she was kind of a hanger-on, and people knew that it was, not a happy time, and he tried to stick with her, and then he said, "You can't keep doing drugs, I'll leave you," and she killed him. 338, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? 404-741-1230, 741-1230. More on the cover-up for what's going on with the slimebag Biden family. And again, the whole damn stinking family of them ought to be in prison. That's why they got pardons. Now even a pro-energy group called Power the Future is demanding an investigation into at least a half a dozen Biden executive orders relating to the climate, which the energy group says should be null and void because he didn't know anything about them. They were signed with the auto pen. They caused significant shifts in domestic energy policy, that whole Green New Deal crap. said it found no evidence of the president speaking about any of the policies, didn't know anything about them, never raised concerns about them, didn't know anything about somebody signing that auto pen. He didn't know squat. Growing evidence promulgated by a coterie of advisors in his name without his knowledge or over his signature using the auto pen. We need congressional access to information in accordance with these revelations. The president's knowledge and approach, he didn't know anything about it. Unfortunately, in 2005, the Justice Department Office of Legal Counsel said a president is permitted to use an auto pen to sign bills into law. A court of appeals for the Fourth Circuit issued a ruling that said the absence of a writing does not equate to proof that a commutation did not occur. In other words, just because you can't see someone's handwriting doesn't mean it wasn't true. And this has got to go to the Supreme Court. I mean, again, all these are going to have to end up in the Supreme Court, as they've started to. Again, this has been 2 or 3 now where the Supreme Court has issued a limited order, which helps, but again, still, they're going to have to get to the big time Charlie. 340, come repeat and Flounder. All right, Flounder, let's talk about Donald Trump here. Once again, I mean, our real president, the actual president, opened up the White House again today to the media to just watch him work. And they were talking about, apparently Putin's got his demands that he wants before he'll end a war with Ukraine. And it involves having America stay the hell out of it, stop supplying weapons. He gets to keep what he's got. He stays there and he gets some kind of written guarantee that we won't try to move east in Europe into NATO business, stuff like that. So he's not changing. And so one of the reporters, Flounder coming up here, one of the reporters asked Donald Trump about the chances of peace and what the hell's going on over there.
We would have never had a war. If I were president, if the election weren't rigged, you wouldn't have had the war. You wouldn't have had the war. You wouldn't have had inflation. You wouldn't have had October 7th. That would have never happened because Iran was stone cold broke. They didn't have any money to give to Hamas or Hezbollah. You wouldn't have had that Afghanistan most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. You wouldn't have had any of it. You wouldn't have had inflation because energy costs. Look what happened. I brought inflation down to practically zero. And all of the groceries and all of the eggs and all of the things that you've been hearing about, they're back down. They're way down from where they were. I did something in 4 months that nobody's seen. And I have to say, in 4 months, and I said it before, and everyone's talking about it all over the world, we've got the hottest country anywhere in the world right now.
The hottest country in the world. Man's got to be right. Although, a couple things. I filled up for gas on the way. I did my doctor's appointment, and I had time to kill, so I went and got some gas. And I got at a Shell station, $4.50 a gallon. For high test, $4.50. Now, there's no reason for that gas station to charge that much, except that they can. They can do whatever the hell they want.
It's like you keep paying it.
That's right.
I paid $3.20 the other day.
Okay,
what are you doing?
Well, I'm going to the gas station instead of driving around finding cheaper prices. I just, I don't.
Well, you can't complain about always paying extra prices for gas and cable if you never do anything about it.
Well, maybe I'm not complaining. Maybe I'm pointing out to you that these gas stations, there's no longer an issue with the gasoline crisis in America because of Joe Biden. So when they're charging prices like this, it's because they can. They can get away with it. There's nobody to stop them.
And why can they?
Right.
Because people keep buying it.
Well, I guess we don't see a lot. Well, according to your logic, therefore, nobody should ever buy Shell gasoline again. Everybody in America should stop at Costco.
That's right. They should go to some place where it's cheaper.
Well,
obviously, it's the same damn gas.
Obviously, that doesn't work. And by the way, the point I wanted to make was the gas that's in that pump was in the gas tanks of the tank farms months ago. That price has nothing to do with the price of oil of a barrel this month in Saudi Arabia. Nothing. It was months ago that gas was put in the tank farm. Anyway, I'm just saying prices are still, but someone's going to try to blame Donald Trump for this, and it's not Donald Trump's fault that this Shell station charged me $4.50 a gallon this morning.
It's you.
Okay, I'm just telling you, don't believe their crap. Also, another thing about the Donald Trump thing and the war and stuff like that, he said this again the other day, and every time he said it more than once, and every time he says it, I wonder myself, why isn't somebody showing this? And that when Donald Trump says he wants to stop the killing in the Ukraine-Russian war because there have been 1 million casualties, 1 million dead people, 1 million. Have you seen any news coverage of what would lead to 1 million dead people in Ukraine and Russia?
Yeah, it's Eastern Europe. No one seemed to care.
I mean, seriously, 1 million. I mean, if we're talking if Vietnam cost 60,000 Americans, and we're talking about 1 million Ukrainians and Russian, young men, that's a whole generation.
Move it 500 miles to the west, and that's all we'd be hearing about.
Right, exactly. And I'm amazed. I mean, seriously, if I were a news producer of an internet, like a CNN, Fox, whatever, I would be getting that on camera. I mean, that would change everything, wouldn't it? Well, I'm public, maybe not. I don't know. I'm just flabbergasted that Donald Trump says there've been 1 million, and he says I've seen the pictures. There's nothing but dead bodies everywhere you look. Well, not that I want to see that, but I got a feeling that a lot of things would be different. Maybe there'd be some more pressure on various people in a couple of different countries I can think of off the top of my head. If people start realizing, oh my God, this is just eliminating an entire generation of young men. So, I mean, and again, I don't care. I do not have like say a dog in the fight. I hate to use that, but I don't have a nickel in the betting pool on the Ukraine war. I don't care. I honestly, I just don't care. I don't think it's, if Russia just takes it over, well,
I did it first, and I still feel that the Ukrainians are getting screwed because they were invaded. But they are, they're
Russians.
They're the worst. No, they're not Russians. Well, but they're some of the most corrupt things in the world.
Yeah, they're Eastern European, Soviet style residents of that part of the world. And again, remember, their president's a TV host who shut down the media, shut down the churches. I mean, this is not a free democracy type. Yeah. So, listen.
And someone pointed out, if they come to peace, then there's going to have to be elections in Ukraine.
No, he'll get creamed.
And then there'll be investigations into how he's done the war and
where'd the money go. His approval rating is like 10% over there too. So again, he doesn't want elections. He wants to be able to say that he ended the war. And that's why he's afraid to give it up, because obviously, well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it all just doesn't make any freaking sense. And here we go. We're still doing it. 1 million, though. 1 million? And Trump says he's got the intelligence. He has the information. Well, anyway, I just think it's astounding. 3:46, Wednesday afternoon, hump day, beautiful sunny day. Here we go. Timber, Payton, Flounder, and go Braves once or twice would be nice.
They're not playing.
They're not playing. Well, that's then good. They're not going to lose. Okay, they're on to the next one. All right, look out.
Illegal border crossings are down 87%, and Army recruitment hits a 15-year high. So tell us again, what's wrong with America? Yeah, exactly. Get it right with Atlanta's only conservative voice, XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
It's time to slide into summer at Truist Park as the Red Sox and Diamondbacks face the Braves May 30th through June 5th. And May in the A deals are extended June 3rd through the 5th. That means $10 tickets and parking, $1.99 hot dogs, and $3.99 Miller High Life. Plus, there's 3 gate giveaways perfect for summertime. A kids pool float, Truist Park Stadium replica, and a beach tote bag presented by Visit Sarasota. Head to Braves.com/slide into summer to get your tickets. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country. Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. This week's guests are Samantha Rousey Glass and Lieutenant Justin Bowles of the Jess Rousey Honoring Heroes Foundation. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
If you're thinking about a new Buick or GMC, don't wait. Now's the time. Head to Jim Ellis Buick GMC, where the price is right now.
Lock in your lowest price today before prices start to rise due to new tariffs. Shop early while inventory is strong. Right now, Jim Ellis Buick GMC has more than 400 vehicles in stock.
Whether it's the luxurious Buick Enclave or Envision, a spacious GMC Acadia or Yukon, or the power and the capability of the Sierra and Canyon trucks.
And if you're shopping pre-owned, you'll find a great selection of certified vehicles too. Thoroughly inspected and ready to roll at Jim Ellis Buick GMC. You'll find exactly what you want. But don't wait too long. Get yours today before prices go up and vehicle selection goes down. No pressure, no games, just a transparent, customer-first experience that makes buying easy.
Start your search now before prices change at JimEllisBuickGMC.com or visit Jim Ellis Buick GMC in Chamblee off Peachtree Boulevard, inside the perimeter, or in Buford off Highway 20 near 985. Jim Ellis Buick GMC, we are professional grade.
Are you paying too much for term life insurance? A man age 50 non-tobacco user can obtain $500,000 of coverage for as little as $110 per month. Level rate for 20 years. That's right, guaranteed level rate for 20 years. If you're a smoker, there are great rates available for you as well. Call Term Busters for a quote. 1-800-908-7636. You're probably paying more than you should. Call 1-800-908-7636. Remember, call Term Busters. 1-800-908-7636. Sample rate for preferred non-tobacco rate class. Exam required to qualify.
With over $1 trillion in interest payments, the government is borrowing money just to pay the interest. That isn't going to change. The financial system is under a pressure it cannot sustain. And the hard truth is, you are responsible for your retirement. And you have to get prepared. Because if you don't, there are consequences, and the consequences are not going to be kind. This isn't about fear. I don't want to scare you. It's about reality. And if you're not making moves to protect and prepare, you're leaving your retirement to chance. And hope is not a strategy. It's time to act. Before the markets start to act up, own some gold. If you want to know why gold could be your best performing asset in 2025, call Lear Capital today at 800-889-3070 for your free $4,200 gold report. See why gold could be headed for record highs in 2025. Call 800-889-3070 and ask how you can get up to $15,000 in bonus gold with a qualifying purchase. 800-889-3070.
Too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. So sexy it hurts. And I am too sexy for my land.
Oh my God, but the weirdest memory. I forgot what occasion it was, but somehow I was riding in a car with Wayne No Offense, former producer, many, many years ago. And God, I can't. We were driving along, and there was a guy running, jogging on the side of the road, sidewalk, whatever, with no shirt on. And so Wayne started singing this out the window. I'm too sexy for my shirt. So I sped up, to put a round in the chamber. Anyway, I forgot what the occasion was. This is a weird freaking song. Right Said Fred. S-A-I-D, as in talked and said. Right, R-I-G-H-T, the direction, the right hand. Right Said Fred. In 2007, the singer of that group was Richard Fairbrass. He and a gay rights activist named Peter Tatchell were attacked during a march in Moscow in 2007 on this day. Trouble broke out when demonstrators tried to appeal against a ban on gay rights marching in the Russian capital. The banned march was aimed at marking the 14th anniversary of Russia decriminalizing homosexuality. And so they got the just sexy on my shirt. Let's see. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? Birthday list includes, it said this kind of weird, kind of cute. Gladys Knight, 81, the Pips backup singer. Let's see what he did there. Gladys Knight, 81 years old today. Good for you, Gladys. I'd like to. I remember the time when David Letterman had on just the Pips. And he said, ladies and gentlemen, and the Pips. They came out and did the doo-wop, shabop, little dancing steps, and that was the bit. Gladys Knight was nowhere to be seen. This day in history, that was a sad day, 2016. Cincinnati Zoo. A 3-year-old boy fell into the moat at the Cincinnati Zoo and was grabbed and dragged away by Harambe, a 17-year-old, 450-pound Western lowland gorilla. It was all captured on video, created outrage because a zoo worker shot and killed Harambe. Video created outrage about the justification of the killing. The boy had climbed a 3-foot fence, crawled through 4 feet of bushes, and then fell 15 feet into a shallow, water-filled moat. Harambe dragged him out of the moat. The problem is, it's unclear if he intended to hurt the child, but Harambe was shot and killed to protect the child from harm just in case. A number of primatologists and conservationists later testified and wrote that the zoo had no other choice under the circumstances, although it's, and I remember maybe the gorilla was trying to save him. I mean, animals and children are a whole different thing. If you've ever seen even those little reels things that show up on your phone about babies and Rottweilers and Dobermans and German Shepherds and stuff and how they protect little people, and it could well have been that the gorilla was trying to save him from the water, knowing that water you can't breathe underwater. I don't know. And it reminds me of when the white tiger ate that the gay guy of the 2 gay guys there. Like a Las Vegas Tiger Eater guy, what was his name? Sheringham Peel or whatever they were. With the white tiger guys. Come on, you know it. Oh God, hold on a minute. I'll get it. It's coming.
You're suffering from logolophobia.
I know. I have my chimerophobia. Their thing
Come
there.
on, you got
I know.
it.
I got it.
Oh God,
I can see his face. I'm writing down a story about it. I want to say.
I'll give you a hint. It's a famous military line in Europe in World War I.
Oh yeah.
It's German. It's German.
The Lechschmimp's line, yes, sir. Siegfried and Roy. God almighty, Peterson, you're such a loser. God, I look like a freaking rag picker. I can't talk to people. I embarrassed myself in front of young girls today just to say, welcome to the business like an idiot. And now I don't remember anything freaking names. I tell you, I got a whole thing going here.
Wait. Okay.
Oh, what I was saying was, I'm sorry. Keep your question. Hold your question before because I'll forget what I was trying to get to. As you know, my point was that the guy who almost got eaten and his buddy, I think they're both dead or what I'm saying. Anyway, said that the tiger was trying to save him and take him away off stage because there was noise going on or something. Now, who knows? I don't think that's true, but either way.
He grabbed him by the neck and drug him and killed him.
Yeah, wild animal. And again, it's a shame that Harambe, the gorilla thing, they had no choice. It was just a horrible thing. And again, the kid, how did he get over? How did a 3-year-old get over a fence and bushes and drop 15 feet? And his parents nobody knew. I mean, so anyway. I'm sorry, Pete, you had a question about something. I was talking about not knowing anything and the names and talking to people and the girls. Oh my God! No, you forgot. I heard that question.
Did someone ask you to go in and talk to those young women?
Well, my work girl did, kind of, in a way. I mean, okay.
Oh, you just took it on yourself to go in there because I can imagine the fear that clutched the hearts of all the management watching you walk into
Peterson's
that room.
on the loose. Peterson's on the loose. Oh my God! Oh my God! Peterson's going to see the interns. Oh no! Lawsuit!
Who let him loose?
Wait, is anybody in HR?
Whose day is it to monitor?
He's free. He got out.
Warning.
Oh, man. And honestly, I feel like such an idiot. They're so pretty. They're so nice. They're charming. They're pleasant. They're talkative. They're just happy to be there. I mean, it's just they're the nicest young people. There's guys in there, too, and these young. But again, I asked, are you all college folks? Yeah, they're all college kids, So they're what? 20?
You know what the best thing would have been to have a camera and microphone in there, and as soon as you left, hear what they said.
Oh my God, who was that?
Who was that?
I'm sure they have no idea. This Kimmer person, anyway, which is as it should be. Changing of the guard. My God, 3. Oh my God, now Founders Funnies. Here we go. A little something here for you.
And there's some mattress firm, some mattress store running an ad right now telling you can finance a mattress over 48 months. If it takes you 4 years to pay off a mattress, you can't afford a mattress. If it takes you 4 years to pay off a mattress, nothing will help you sleep better. You want to sleep better? Get a career where you can afford a mattress. And how did the entire mattress industry decide from coast to coast the only way we can move this product is get a tattooed meth head out on the sidewalk with a sign and spin that thing around a few times?
A tattooed meth head with a sign around
A mattress is not an impulse buy. You have never been driving home from work and went, I got to get a mattress on that.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
You know what? Every time I see that guy on the sidewalk, I'm thinking that's the owner's nephew. He told his sister, I'll give him a job, but he's not coming in the store.
And you know, I haven't seen those guys in a long time with the sandwich boards around their, front and back sale here, an arrow pointing to a store or something. I don't know if I guess they're probably still doing it. I haven't seen them in a long time. Whatever works. I mean, if I running a business, I wouldn't even know where to start. I couldn't do bookkeeping and marketing and ordering supplies and checking inventory. Yeah, right. Oh, Lordy. Anyway, 3:59. On this day in 1934, the Dion quintuplets were born in Callander, Ontario, Canada. 5 identical girls. The first quintuplets to survive infancy. They've all since passed 1934, died from the ages of 20, 35, 67, 75, and another 75-year-old death. Quintuplets survived infancy. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder coming up on 4 o'clock. We got tweets, we got a game, we got more stuff, we got Holy Crap at Sports, and the news. And coming up, the FBI's after the Christian haters. Coming up, look at it.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the Extra app.
A message to Israel's leader from President Trump. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, confirming today that he recently told the prime minister to hold off on striking Iran as nuclear talks continue.
President Trump believes he can secure a strong agreement with Iran, preventing the country from producing nuclear weapons.
Right now, I think they want to make a deal, and if we can make a deal, save a lot of lives.
In a phone call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu last week, President Trump says he warned against taking military action against Iran.
Yeah, I told him this would be inappropriate to do right now because we're very close to a solution. Now, that could change at any moment. Could change with a phone call.
President Trump says a deal with Iran would include inspectors and other safeguards to prevent weapon development.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. A federal judge just blocking the federal government from withholding money to New York as part of an effort to kill New York City's first-in-the-nation congestion pricing program. The judge issuing a preliminary injunction as the legal fight continues, a day after issuing a temporary restraining order. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. That message from Vice President J.D. Vance telling the Bitcoin conference in Las Vegas, the U.S. needs a regulatory framework for digital assets with clarity and transparency.
If we fail to create regulatory clarity now, we risk chasing this $3 trillion industry offshore in search of a friendlier jurisdiction, and President Trump is going to fight to make sure that does not happen.
Vance also says he's optimistic Congress will pass the Genius Act, paving the way for greater use of stable coins as digital payment. Those are digital currencies backed by other forms of money. A late sell-off on Wall Street. The Dow finishing down 244 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
I don't. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. What's up with you today? 404-741-1230. If you'd like to join us. I know it's scary trying to, put the numbers in the phone. Use them for the actual phone purposes. Sorry. But we love your participation. 1983, Ozzy Osbourne was at the 4-day U.S. Festival 83. It was in California. It featured The Clash, U2, David Bowie, The Pretenders, Van Halen, Stray Cats, Men at Work, Judas Priest, Stevie Nicks, Willie Nelson, INXS, Joe Walsh, Motley Crue, and Ozzy freaking Osbourne. This was 83 in California, the U.S. Festival. 750,000 fans attended the festival, and Ozzy wowed them all. Our birthday list includes Rudy Giuliani. Oh, man, 81 years old. What a story that Rudy I just can't help. What an ending to this guy. I mean, 20, 30 years ago, he turned New York into a place where people were no longer particularly afraid after police were able to stop people on the sidewalk and say, I see you have a gun in your pocket, sir. I wonder if you could go ahead and go to jail with me. I mean, he changed a lot of things about New York and security and criminality and things like that. And then all of a sudden, he's a mayor and he's a prosecutor and he's all these things. And then he makes a mistake of talking about two people in Georgia who were involved possibly, maybe in the election counting results, although I personally think they were probably the finest people we've ever known in America today. Those two people that he was talking about, I personally, my own self, clearly he was incorrect there. But all he mentioned, he says, there was fraud involved in the election, and they sued him for like $1 trillion, and he has to pay them millions and millions and millions. He had to sell his stuff, he sell his cars, sell his antiques, sell his collection, sell his house.
He's getting back on his feet. He's doing things now, though. He's not completely gone away.
But what a story. I mean, Rudy Giuliani, 81 years old today. I mean, what a story that because of the Trump election and his reaction to it. Hi, Princess. Oh, God, you look so pretty with your hair down.
Doesn't it tell you everything you need to know about New York City?
She hates when I say that. Oh, my God, she hates when I said I saw how pretty your hair was, and she got snooty.
I think the majority of the listeners hate it when you say it, too.
I'm sorry. Okay, I got this track.
In fact, one said to me yesterday, he doesn't know how creepy he sounds when he does that.
Okay, I'm sorry. Well, they smile and they wave and laugh, so they think it's nice. I don't hurt anybody. God, it's all I got. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
Doesn't it tell you everything you need to know about New York City? That after he made it safe again, they turned around and handed the city over to the criminals again.
There you go. And now they're bailing out people. I mean, it's just, absolutely.
They're letting them on the street.
That's not good. And on this day in history, Pete Davis, you'll enjoy this. Although I know you actually, without question, I'm sure you have a personally signed copy of a book by a fellow involving the founding on this day in 1937 of the Gesellschaft zur Verbundenung des deutschen Volkswagen den MBHen, otherwise known as Volkswagen Work, or the People's Car Company, 1937. On this day, Adolf Hitler and the Nazi parties, the German Labor Front started making Volkswagens in Germany. They wanted to build, it was a pet project, they wanted a speedy car that could sell for less than 1,000 Reich marks, which is $140. To provide the design, they picked an Austrian-German automotive engineer, Ferdinand Porsche. In 1938, stop telling me to shush. In 1938, at a Nazi rally, the Fuhrer declared it is for the broad masses that this car's been built. Its purpose is to answer their transportation needs and is intended to give them joy. The thing was displayed for the first time at the Berlin Motor Show in 1939. World War II began. They halted production. They started doing tanks and stuff. In the United States, very few sales happened because it was weird looking, and plus it was connected to the Nazis. But, and I remember this, in fact, I studied this in college at Arizona State, as I recall, and did a whole thing about this. In 1959, the advertising agency called Doyle Dane Bernbach. Pete, I'll bet you know that, as a writing guy, I'll bet you've heard of that company. Doyle Dane Bernbach.
Mad Men did a whole show on the Volkswagen.
Right, exactly. In 1959, the advertising agency Doyle Dane Bernbach launched a landmark campaign dubbing the car the Beetle. Spinning its diminutive size as a distinct advantage to consumers, over the next several years, VW became the top-selling import in America. In 1960, the German government sold 60% of it to the public, which denationalized it. 12 years later, the Beetle surpassed the long-standing worldwide production record of 15 million vehicles. They set the record, which was established by Ford's legendary Model T. The Beetle hasn't changed really since 1935. They bounced back with sportier models like the Rabbit and later the Golf. They had the new Beetle continuing to production after 70 years. The last original Beetle rolled off the line in Puebla, Mexico in July of 2003. And when I was courting my wife, the only woman who ever didn't cheat on me and loved me thoroughly, my wife, Hoppo, my starter wife, when I met her in college when I was 19, she drove a green Volkswagen Beetle. And I used to tease and joke with her about various things and tease her about a little car. And I said, you and your, little funny little 4-speed stick shift on the floor. And by the way, those Beetles back then, the Volkswagen back then, had nothing in them. I mean, they had a stick with a little knob on it in the floorboard, and no radio, no heat. I mean, there was nothing.
No heater.
It was nothing. It was just an empty shell with a stick and a knob for the gear shift. Seriously, open the window. Anyway, and so I said, oh hell, I can start that car in 4th gear. And she said, you cannot. I said, I can, you cannot. So we did a little kind of teasing little thing. So she took me out to the parking lot and gave me the keys, and we got in the car together. And sure enough, I started that Volkswagen in the 4th gear. We only had 4 gears. But of course, I ruined her clutch, by goosing and then slowly letting out the clutch. That can't be good for the clutch. But it was one of the things that kind of was our little flirty thing that really got me to eventually become her boyfriend and later engaged. And when I was going to Vietnam, we got married. And it was her Volkswagen. And when I came back from Vietnam, oh God, I'm so sorry. I know this is personal. Everybody hates me. Flounder just told me you hate me when I talk. Anyway, so when I came back from Vietnam, I was going to Arizona State. I got him because of her. When I was in Vietnam, she went to Arizona. She flew from New England to Arizona State and talked to the administrative people and say, I want you to let my husband in. He's in Vietnam right now. And by God, he's, deserved to go finish college. And they let me in because of her. When I came back home, I went to Arizona State, and she was working at Honeywell in Phoenix. And we bought a navy blue Super Beetle. The first year the Super Beetle came out, it had to be 71 or 2. And we bought the first Super Beetle that was available. It was a beautiful, I know it was a navy blue. It was a beautiful, like royal blue with a white interior. And bought that because I wanted to just celebrate her Volkswagen to give her a new one. Anyway, so that's kind of story. And by the way, I've mentioned I've had a lot of friends who had. In college days, had those original bathtub Porsches, and they all loved them. They were probably mechanically they were the best handling little cars, and they all sounded like Volkswagens. But you could tell. I mean, they were my friends.
They only had like 175 horsepower.
Oh, and if that, yeah. But they, man, they were reliable, and again, they were a trunk in the front, and pretty cool. All right, 411, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. The FBI is probing targeted violence against Christians in Seattle. Dan Bongino. By the way, what a great pick that was. FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino. He wasn't just a talk show host and a Fox guy. He was actually a Secret Service agent, a cop, and everything else. Anyway, he wants an investigation into what religious groups had to suffer at an evangelical conservative group rally in Seattle City Hall the other day. What happened, there was a demonstration Saturday at Cal Anderson Park during Mayday USA's Don't Mess With Our Kids rally. There's people who are saying boys a boy and girls a girl, basically. There was a counter-protest. Police made 24 arrests. Violence broke out. Event organizers, attendees, and counter-protesters converged, and there was a fight. The mayor of Seattle, a Democrat sissy, blamed the Christian rally and infiltrating anarchists for the violence. He said, quote, Seattle's proud of our reputation as a welcoming, inclusive city for LGBTQ plus communities. We stand with our trans neighbors when they face bigotry and injustice. Today's far-right rally was held here for this very reason, to provoke a reaction by promoting beliefs that are inherently opposed to our city's values in the heart of Seattle's most prominent LGBT community. Anarchists infiltrated the protesters' group, inspired violence, prompting the police to make arrests and ask organizers to shut it down, which they did. May Days, the group's desire is to wrap their personal hate, fear, and bigotry in Christian speak, but it won't work. You dirty freaking scumbag. I mean, you're a freaking
They
Nazi.
picked the tranny freaks over the Christians' family. They surrounded a woman and her baby and tried to basically attack
They have no soul. Again, it doesn't matter how they get there. They will get what they want. They want a civil war. Organizers of the Rattle in Seattle protest took issue with that statement, saying the religious bigotry, their attack on their First Amendment rights, and we're protesting his remarks. They had to do it on yesterday. And he had the audacity to issue a press release blaming Christians for premeditated violence of Antifa, which resulted in the hospitalization of Seattle Police Department personnel and the arrest of 24 agitators from Antifa. The city of Seattle continues spiraling into lawlessness, dysfunction, the First Amendment rights of citizens peacefully assemble, totally disregarded. It's happening all the time.
Shut down free speech, and it's Trantifa and Antifa together.
Right.
Why haven't they been labeled domestic terrorists yet?
I think that's what Bongino's hopefully trying to get them to
do it.
Yeah, exactly. Then start filing charges. I know, talk's cheap. 14 minutes after 4 o'clock. Tim, Repeat, and Flounder, how's your hump day? Well, I haven't heard of a hump. What I say.
Time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast's premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
Curious, when you were in the 6th grade, I was 12, what did they teach you in your government school about sex? Well, to learn what they're teaching you today, let's go to Middle America, Wisconsin, Wauwatosa, suburb of Milwaukee. About as average, I guess, as you can get. Economically, middle class. Voters sometimes go red, sometimes go blue. But in 2022, the Wauwatosa School Board approved a new sex education curriculum. 6th graders will be able to define different types of sexual intercourse. In kindergarten, they will learn about genitalia with the help of cartoons. 3rd graders, they're taught that they may not feel like a particular gender. They will also be taught about puberty blockers. And as young as 1st grade, they will be talking about gender identity. All of these are so important to grade schools. What do you learn in school today, dear? Well, Mommy, no math, no reading, no history, but I know all about genders now. Do you know how many there are? And I can tell you about different ways to have sex. Okay, Wauwatosa is not all alone here. Across the country, 37% of American students learn about gender ideology in school. And you can bet they learn that there are more than 2 genders. Is this really what you pay school taxes for? You want to escape this? Good luck getting the school board changed. Get your children out of these destructive and sickening government schools. And don't tell me you can't afford them. Get rid of those huge car payments. Set aside some vacations. Your kids are more important. And team up with Donald Trump in trying to get rid of the useless, destructive Department of Education. Neil Bortz, XTRA 106.3.
Storms, heat, humidity, your home takes a beating down south. Southern Exteriors was built for this. Now they're offering 10% off any job or 12 months, 0% financing. Hey, it's Tug. I know the team at Southern Exteriors personally. They do things the right way. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, anything to the exterior of your home, they do it all. Call Southern Exteriors today or visit them on the web. It's 877-9-SOUTHERN and southernexteriors.co.
You need a pre-owned car or truck, but you don't need the headache of searching for one. Spending hours calling dealerships, then spending half the day filling out paperwork. Come on. You need the Honest Car Guy.
Hey, this is Tom from the Honest Car Guy. We help you buy your next pre-owned car or truck honestly. We guarantee you each vehicle we sell will come with a copy of the bill of sale, showing what we paid for it. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee. Guaranteed.
Get an Honest Car Buy from the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
Wow, Here we go. Hold on. Yep, I'm not ready to miss your phone here for some reason. Kevin Pete and Flounder, how's it going? 418. And here's Sting. Okay. I don't know this song. But
technically, this is the Police.
Ah, of course. When you say Sting, obviously, people would obviously assume that, right? Even if they think I don't know, but I do. In fact, I did know that Sting was the Police. Every breath I take, wasn't that his?
Yes, it was.
And there's another one too.
Police song.
And the other one by Police I like too is more of a love song. Every breath I take, and there's another one. Everything she
Roxanne.
said.
Everything she does is magic, or
might be. I can't remember. Anyway, 1977, Sting, Stuart Copeland, and Andy Summers played together for the first time when they performed as part of Mike Howlett's band Strontium 90 in Paris. 1977, emerging in the British new wave scene, Sting, Copeland, and Summers formed The Police and became globally popular from the late 70s to the mid-1980s. Well, they were popular longer than that, weren't they?
No, they were not
really?
together all that long.
Really?
No, they hated each other.
You know, it's amazing because I still hear, I don't know what I'm thinking of, but I still hear them all the time.
Doesn't mean they're together.
Yeah, no, I know. I guess it's just amazing. I hold everything. Phone calls take priority. Derek, welcome aboard. How's it going? What's up, sir?
Hi, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my brother's currently serving time for insider trading.
Oh, boy.
I know Trump wants to make white-collar crime great again.
Yeah.
How much does it cost to get a pardon?
Well, you'll have to. I think for Joe Biden, I think the cost for his pardons for his family, the crime family, was around $100,000 apiece. But luckily, is paid for by the foreign governments of people like Romania and Red China. Oh my God! It reminds me. I wonder how much he had to pay when he did the Afghan withdrawal and had all those slaughtering of all those hundreds of thousands of people and the American heroes who were bombed with the thing. Oh my God! I'll never forget the Biden foreign policy. So I don't. You'll have to ask him. In fact, let's put a call into the White House. And by the way, Derek, thanks for pointing the question, because I don't know how much Biden charged for those pardons. I mean, I guess they've all got it in like an offshore account or something. I don't know. Anyway, we'll have to find out.
When bribing Trump, does he take cash or do you have to put it through his crypto?
Well, actually, Donald Trump doesn't need the money. The only people who need the money now are the Biden family, because apparently they're going to be going to prison.
If he doesn't need the money, how come he's taking so much in crypto from all these bribes?
Oh, my God. Is that that's the best you got? And what's this name is Derek? All right, so
last week it was Travis.
We're going with Derek.
His boyfriend called the week before as well.
Yeah, so you're saying, gee, Donald Trump is taking bribes. How weak is that? You're. I mean, seriously, that's enough. We tried.
Every week this loser calls me under a different name, saying, "I want to talk about the big beautiful bill."
Yeah.
And he's just a
again,
Democrat loser.
We're happy to take the call, but if all he's got is that stupid,
same thing every
something
time
like that, I mean, what's the point? I mean, is he now pleasuring himself because, I talked to the Peterson show, man, I'm getting to talk about radio. Jesus. I mean, seriously, I feel bad for the guy. That's his life. That's what he does. He actually pays it. He actually deliberately, you have to turn on the radio to hear it, okay? So he actually has to deliberately listen to us and then decide how he's going to, I'm going to call him and I'm going to see how does he take bribes? Does he take bribes? And he's going to admit it. John takes bribes. Trump takes I mean, just pathetic. Seriously, these people get allowed to vote and drive and everything, Honest to God. What a horrible, miserable life that he must live. We should pray for him.
All right, we got Mika on the phone, and she wants to talk about Trump offering Canada $61 billion.
Okay, Mika. Hello, Mika. Is this another dirty, rotten liar, or are you an actual person named Mika?
I'm definitely a pro-Trumper.
Yes, well, no, it's okay. You can be anybody you want. Yes, ma'am. Please, go right ahead.
Thank you. I'm curious what your thoughts are in Trump's offer to Canada for $61 billion buy-in on the Golden Dome. Not only that, if they were to take the offer as a 51st state, so they didn't have to pay, because they obviously don't want to pay the U.S. anything.
Right.
Do we even want them? Because they're so woke anyway.
Well, honestly, it's a great question. And I mean, every time Donald Trump, and now, by the way, I thought that was done. In fact, just the other day, the King of freaking England himself made it a point to say, Canada's ours. We're not giving up Canada.
King was off with his head.
I know.
We don't care about the kingship.
Right.
They're gone.
Exactly. But for Donald Trump, now he brought up another one. He said, he wants to be the 51st state. And now he says, tell you what, we'll put you under the old gold dome thing or shield or whatever it is, but it's going to cost you $60 billion unless you join us.
I say he offers them a subscription because we have to deal with maintenance fees and all that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So why do we have to foot all that bill?
I know. But I mean, the very idea that he says, okay, I'm going to get you this way. And I promise you, there are people in Canada saying, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go. I mean, what would that hurt other than I think you're right about an awful lot of, I mean, their whole culture is, I think, really different than American culture. But these days, who know, American culture is all freaked out and liberal and leftist anyway. So what's the difference?
Republicans would never win another national election.
Yeah, probably not.
Because they're socialists.
Yeah. Anyway, sweetie, thanks for calling. It's a great question and a great issue. I mean, but for freaking Trump, here he goes again. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll give him the old dome thing, but you're going to have to join us, like I said before. I mean, it's just he doesn't quit. I mean, I wonder whether he's just having fun. He may just say, he's probably telling, Caroline Levitt to say, let's have a little knifing in the guts here with the old Canadian people.
He wants the mineral rights and the land and all that stuff. But
they're going to vote Democrat. All those people by the millions.
Yeah, by the millions. It's over.
I'm assuming. I mean, now that may not. I don't know. I don't know about Canada culture these days, but the way they're reacting to that, Pierre Trudeau, Castro's kid, Trudeau, they're taking the truckers' licenses away and stopping them from buying gasoline and cutting down on strikes. And I mean, that's a socialist Nazi country, for crying out loud.
Alberta, Saskatchewan, they're conservative, but the left coast is not.
Yeah.
And the major population areas, Ottawa and Montreal and Toronto, they're ultra liberal.
Yeah.
So it'd be just one huge Democratic wasteland.
Yeah, you'd have to wonder. 425, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Okay. By the way. Oh, I didn't do a birthday, and I thought it was kind of interesting. And again, this is for old. I guess, maybe that's why everybody hates me, because I keep doing old people stuff. I saw the birthday list today. Carol Baker. Carol Baker is 94. Carol Baker was one of the most beautiful platinum blondes of the era of the 50s and 60s and 70s and so forth. Carol Baker's 94. She took acting lessons in the school under Strasberg, which is pretty notable. She was famous for movies Baby Doll, The Big Country, How the West Was Won, Giant, Carpetbaggers. All those kinds of, Wild West-like films. Carol Baker, beautiful platinum blonde lady, 94 years old today. Good for you. Anyway, Flounder, I got to get my phone here because I got triple sources here. Flounder found an update on a story that we're about to tell you right now. In Texas, Governor Greg Abbott heard about the fatal jet ski hit and run that killed a teenage Air Force recruit woman, a girl. She was, in fact, the horrible story is this girl, hold on a second, I got my page flipped here. Well, now, Ava Moore, she had just graduated from the U.S. Air Force Academy Prep School about a week ago. She was visiting her parents during a holiday weekend, made her fateful trip to Grapevine Lake in Texas, and was there when a jet ski with two women on it ran into her and basically killed her. At the hospital, she died. She was 18 years old, an Air Force recruit in their prep school plan. And so Greg Abbott, the governor of Texas, says to the two girls arrested, welcome to Texas. Here's your death penalty. A senseless death caused by an illegal alien should have been never in our country in the first place. And Flounder just got an update here for us. They report the two illegal immigrants involved in the jet ski hit and run were illegally here from Venezuela. They crossed the southern border in 2023 or 24, were arrested, and then typically they were just said, well, you'll come back later. They give you a notice to appear, and then released on their own recognizance, free to go. 21-year-old Dicurlin Alejandra Gonzalez was operating the jet ski. She fled the scene along with 21-year-old Michael Coelho Perozzo. The pair later crashed into a vehicle trying to evade capture, and apparently, the police from Dallas and Grapevine, Texas, used Homeland Security immigration people as well, drones looking into the hideout windows before the pair finally surrendered. A second woman riding on the jet ski when it struck Moore remained at the scene, it says, after the collision. But it says here that they were both captured trying to evade capture. And the girl is another tragic victim of Biden's open border policies. Those who voted and support him have blood on their hands. I mean, no question about it. Look what they're doing. Here we go. It doesn't end.
Did you see the look on her face when they arrested her? It was a smirk.
Yeah.
Like, hey, nothing gonna happen to me.
My God. But seriously, it's just astounding. And it's over and over and over. And they, just the fact that they feel so free, and they made it in this country, so let's have a little fun. Let's run some jet skis, have a little fun for the weekend, just having a great time in their new country. What do they do for a living? Where do they live? How do they get food? There's
a network that helps them out.
By the millions.
There's Catholic organizations that help them out.
Millions of them.
Democrats help them out.
And they're getting away with it. And if people stopped helping them out and said, guess what? You're going to have to cross the border in fact, we'll pay you $500 a piece to just go home. Just leave. Just go. And it would be well worth it. We'd probably save $1 billion.
Isn't that what Trump's doing? Offer him $1,000?
That's what we're doing. The plane flights. We'll give you a plane ticket and $1,000 when you get to your country, and we'll give you the money right there. You can and they're doing. Some are doing it. But again, we've got millions in here. It would take 30 years at $3,000 a day to get rid of all the people that the Biden crime family led in here on purpose.
Make it miserable for them.
Yeah.
Don't hire them.
Take away their stuff.
Don't be nice to them.
That's right. It's the only way to do it. Go home. 4:30, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Humpity hump. Look up.
Neil Boortz is only live on XTRA 106.3, bringing you daily commentary on the biggest topics of the day. Catch him throughout the day or hear his latest on the XTRA 106.3 app.
A golf instructor who knows technique can improve an aspiring pro's swing. But one who really cares can help transform a career.
There he is, your new champion.
When you team up with someone who knows a lot and cares even more, you're unstoppable. At Truist, we believe the same is true for banking. Truist, leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist Bank, member FDIC, leading based on top 10 U.S. commercial bank.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2025 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. More than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4 or the 2025 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right-sized SUV for all the adventures ahead with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. And no matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
This is House Call for Health. May is Arthritis Awareness Month. It's a joint pain or joint disease, and there are more than 100 kinds of arthritis and related conditions. The Arthritis Foundation says many people have heard of it, but don't know its impact. In the U.S., it's the #1 cause of disability and impacts nearly 60 million men, women, and children. 1 in 4 adults and hundreds of thousands of kids have a form of arthritis or related illness. It's a misconception that it's an old person's disease. 2/3 of those with arthritis are under the age of 65. And the disease costs the U.S. economy more than $300 billion a year combined in medical bills, lost wages, and associated expenses. Often, those with arthritis have comorbidities, accompanying conditions like obesity, heart disease, and diabetes. There's no cure, but medications and changing your lifestyle can help. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News.
It's front office lows for Howard Brothers and Echo. May in Georgia means thick grass, fast growth, and big outdoor projects for us all. But the folks at Howard Brothers have the perfect equipment that you need to tackle spring head on, and that's Echo Power Equipment. From string trimmers and blowers to chainsaws and edgers, Echo delivers all the power you need and reliability you deserve no matter the job. Get your yard in shape and stay ahead of the season. Swing by Howard Brothers today and gear up with Echo. The grass is always greener when you take care of it with Echo and Howard Brothers.
I'm saving that one. Oh, did you hear that? I'm sorry. I don't have my headphones on. My girl just came over to blow me a kiss. So I told her I'm saving that one for later. 4:34. How's it going? Give her Pete and Flounder. I'm sorry. I'm not good. I can't help it, and I'll try to change. This day, 1975, the Allman Brothers Band temporarily disbanded after Greg Allman testified against Scooter Herring, his personal road manager, who was charged with drug trafficking. Herring was subsequently sentenced to 75 years in prison. An album of previously unreleased live material was issued later in the year under the title Wipe the Windows, Check the Oil, $1 Gas. The Allman Brothers, 1976, will issue. Our birthday list includes Billy Vera. Billy Vera and the Beaters, group still performing. Billy Vera is 81 years old, known for the song At This Moment. A tearful, emotional song, as I recall. And, Oopsie-daisy, women, I got the wrong one. Hold on, I got a history thing. I changed my mind, and now I can't find what I was going to do. Here it is. I got to get the guy in the crane. Here we go. I bet you remember this, Pete Davidson Flounder. It was just after midnight on this day in 2005. Carl Edward Rowland is removed finally from a crane 18 stories above Buckhead. Rowland was wanted by police in connection with murdering his ex-girlfriend, Jennifer Gonzalez. Police in Florida discovered the badly beaten body of the girl, 36 years old, in a retention pond. Last seen with this guy, Rowland, so they issued an arrest warrant. He did not return to his home in Florida. The next day, he showed up at an Atlanta construction site where he told a worker he had hurt somebody. And then he took the crane's elevator up 18 stories and crawled out onto the horizontal arm of the construction crane. I just had a thought. I'll bet this construction crane was rented to the construction company using it by Big Dave, my golfing buddy, Danny McLefty's and my big buddy, Big Dave. He did all the sales for the crane rental company. All those big, giant, like 20, 30-story cranes with a big scoop way over above everybody and construction stuff. Anyway, cool. All right, so the guy didn't go home. They fed it up. He said he hurt somebody with up 18 stories for 3 days. 2005, remember this? 3 days. Businesses, traffic disrupted while authorities tried to convince him to come the hell down. To keep him from falling asleep and falling off the crane, the police positioned a bucket underneath him with a loud siren, which Rowland eventually was able to disassemble. After ignoring the police offers of food and water for more than 56 hours, he agreed to accept some water. At 12:30 in the morning, he edged toward police, who then tasered, tackled, and restrained him. He was wrapped onto a stretcher and lowered down the 350-foot crane. After a trip to the hospital, Rowland was taken to the Fulton County Jail waiting extradition to Florida. He was later found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. 3 days on the crane, and they could have just hosed him off, but again, they did the right thing. Yeah, so supposedly. Anyway, Kara Pete and Flounder, how's it going? 437. Good to have you with us. Here's the number, 404-741-1230. And I don't know why I'm getting all kinky thinking about this, and I know it's wrong in every way. But if you haven't seen the video, you probably could Google it easily and be fine with it. As two female Secret Service officers have been suspended after a catfight in front of Barack Hussein Obama's Washington, D.C. mansion the other day. The two girl Secret Service agents were outside his residence 2:30 in the morning when one of the Secret Service girls called for a supervisor and said, quote, "You better get here before I whoop this girl's ass. I need a supervisor out here immediately." They were fighting, punches, shoving. The individuals involved were suspended from duty and is subject to internal investigation. The Secret Service has a very strict code of conduct, it says here, and if behavior that violates that code is unacceptable, and they will not talk about it any further. I wonder if they kissed after. I wonder if it was kind of a thing. I'm just kind of a... Now, how the hell could two... I don't know why women makes a difference. It just seems...
DEI.
Yeah. How is it? Well, remember the agent who was guarding Donald Trump, who was like 5'3" and 260 pounds, couldn't get her gun out of her holster or back into it?
DEI.
How is it possible that the two Secret Service agents, let alone two women Secret Service agents, would come to blows in front of Putty Tat's house at 2:30 in the morning? What possibly could have led to that?
Fighting for. Yeah. That's what Scott Pelley wants, is more DEI, because that helps everybody.
In fact, he's still getting ripped on social media for that. Did you see his acting and his and this in America? Oh, God, I just wanted to throw up. I mean,
this ain't Columbia, baby. This is North Carolina. It just doesn't play as well in other places.
And another thing, another kind of a fun story today here, too. And now a lip reader has gotten involved with revealing what really happened when French President Emmanuel Macron and his wife Brigitte got into a little thing the other day when they arrived in Vietnam. You remember the footage? It showed Brigitte Macron, the 72-year-old wife, put both her hands on her husband's face, shoved him moments before, after the plane door opened upon arrival in Vietnam. The embarrassed-looking leader claimed the pair were just squabbling, having fun and goofing around, but a professional lip reader has since decoded the shocking exchange. The door opens. Macron seen turning toward Brigitte. Unexpected moment, she shoves him in the face, pushes him away severely as his hand formed into a fist. Macron noticed the cameras were on him, so he said hi and laughed and raised his hand like no big deal. Emmanuel then steps closer to Brigitte before composing himself and crossing to the other side. Moments later, he signals for her to follow him with "let's go," according to the lip reader. Macron thanks the pilot, waves at the cameras, trying to recover the public-facing image. But at the top of the stairs, things turn icy again. He offers his arm. She ignores it, clinging to the railing instead. As she passes, she appears to utter the following 4 words: "Dégage, espèce de loser." Translated into English, "Stay away, you loser." Oh, my God. How many times have I heard that in a... Oh, yeah. Stay away, you loser.
Wow.
Moments later, the lip reader claims that Macron himself said, "Essayons s'il le plaît," which translates to, "Let's try, please." And she responds, "No." N-O-N. His closing expression and the phrase lip-read as "je vois," translated into "I see," says it all, according to the lip reader. She did not take her husband's offered arm to make her way down the stairs. He said, "Oh, we're just squabbling, having a joke with my wife, having fun." Remember, he was 15 when she was 39, and they met in his school. She was a teacher, and her daughter was a classmate of Macron. And now, let's see, what are the words here? Hold on. "Dégage, espèce de loser." Stay away, you loser. And he says, "Let's try, please." And she said no. Well, what a shame. Does anybody, I don't know. Thank God for Flounder and Mrs. Flounder and Veronica. You guys are still okay, right? I mean, you like each other. Everything's going okay.
Absolutely.
Give me a little something, okay? Just it's good, marriage and happiness and goodness.
Absolutely.
Yeah, glad you did it. I wouldn't know be without her and everything. All that. Okay.
All
good.
that
We're working in
jazz.
the yard this weekend. Yes, dear.
Whatever she wants. Right again, darling.
We have Nick on the horn. He wanted to talk about the Beetle.
Oh, excellent. Nick, you're on the radio, man. Welcome aboard.
Hey,
What's
I'm
up?
honored. I'm honored that I get to speak to you.
Oh, you're very kind, sir. I'm flattered. Thank you.
I'm a liar too. But,
No, I know that. I knew that.
Anyway, my oldest brother, had a red Volkswagen in high school and college, and he put an air horn underneath the hood with a tank, and he'd get behind semis and honk like crazy, and they could never see him.
I couldn't remember where the hell's that horn coming from. I know of a guy. I think I'm trying to remember where this is. Back in the '60s, and a neighbor there was somebody else in the neighborhood had a Volkswagen, and his prank pulling buddy would sneak over at night and with a can of gasoline and put some gas in the guy's gas tank of the Volkswagen, because Volkswagens did not have a gas tank. Remember, the early Volkswagens did not have a gas gauge, so you had to keep track of the mileage. And I remember he would say that he would sneak over at night and put like a quart or a couple of quarts of gas in the guy's tank, because he just drove to work and back. And he said one day the guy was with his bunch of friends. He says, "This is the damnedest car I ever saw. I'm getting like 150 miles a gallon on this thing." It's unbelievable. Every time to fill it up and it go boink. Oh my God. I mean, but what a car that was. I mean, think about it. It just, it always started. It always worked. It was air cooled. There was nothing in it. Nothing in it. Literally a floorboard and a stick with the knob on the top as a gear shift, and that was it. No radio, no heater, no nothing. I think there was a vent underneath to let the air off from the outside in or something. Oh,
I think
man.
my brother went to full service and told him to check the radiator.
He had to open it up and say, "Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's got your radiator." I mean, that car, that really was a thing. It was. I remember those days. That was
fun. They had sex in, but,
I love it. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Almost 4:45 already. Holy cow. We still have
floorboards.
I'm sorry?
Would rot out. The floorboards would rot out sometimes. You could see the ground underneath you.
Yeah. And again, it was, the original car in Germany was $140. That's what they wanted. It was a cheap, anyway. And my loving bride, the only woman who ever loved me, that was her thing. So I bought her one when I came back. Anyway, 4:45, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. White House, Obama, the musical. Holy cow. Wait to hear about this action. And when you're on an airplane and a little boy's making fun of you, probably not a good idea to smash his head into the window. I'm just, it could happen. I can see. We'll get a good example coming up. 4:05, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder right here.
Morning Extra, Neil Bortz, and The Kimmer Show are all online for you anytime at thepodcastpark.com. Plus all of Extra's exclusive podcasts like Ben Burnett, Janelle King, and so much more. All at thepodcastpark.com. Presented by Associated Credit Union.
It's time to slide into summer at Truist Park as the Red Sox and Diamondbacks face the Braves May 30th through June 5th. And May in the A deals are extended June 3rd through the 5th. That means $10 tickets and parking, $1.99 hot dogs, and $3.99 Miller High Life. Plus, there's 3 gate giveaways perfect for summertime. A kids pool float, Truist Park Stadium replica, and a beach tote bag presented by Visit Sarasota. Head to Braves.com/slide into summer to get your tickets. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves country. The EQE electrifies the essence of Mercedes-Benz values. Leadership in user-friendly technology and earth-friendlier power. Satisfaction for drivers and passengers alike. And the seamless confluence of craftsmanship and innovation that makes the iconic Grille Star shine. Get an exceptional offer on the all-electric 2025 Mercedes-Benz EQE 350 sedan. Just $539 per month for 36 months with $66.83 due at signing exclusively at RBM of Atlantic Atlanta and Sandy Springs. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this vehicle and many other models during the Mercedes-Benz Dream Days sales event. Visit today to see how to qualify. Special lease rate available only to qualified customers exclusively from Mercedes-Benz Financial Service through RBM of Atlanta, Sandy Springs through May 31st, 2025. Excludes tax, tag, title, and Georgia lemon law fees. Contact RBM of Atlanta for details on this and other exciting offers. Visit us at rbmofatlanta.com or call us at 770-390-0700 for details.
While retinitis pigmentosa takes Mark's vision, his family gives him hope, whether at the family business or at home with his wife and sons. He knows he's not fighting alone. For 50 years, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has funded research into treatments and cures for blinding retinal diseases, providing hope to people with vision loss. And for Mark, winning the fight means being there for his family. The Foundation Fighting Blindness. Together, we're winning. Help us end blinding diseases at fightingblindness.org.
No, it's all good. Well, everything's good. Oh, why did that do it? You dirty stinking. There we go. Just checking the updates here and the thing there. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. There we go. A little Pink Floyd action there. Dark Side of the Moon, as you can tell. 1973. Dark Side of the Moon, both British and American album charts. Remained in the American charts for 741 discontinuous weeks from 1973 to 1988 in America, longer than any other album in history. After moving, Dark Side of the Moon we're talking about, after moving to the Billboard Top Pop catalog chart, the album notched up a further 759 weeks. And Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd, reached a total of more than 1,500 weeks on the combined charts by May 2006. Holy cow. I mean, that's remarkable. I had no idea. To the phones, taking priority. It's Keith. You're on the radio, man. How's it going? What's up?
Oh, I'm just driving home in my new Beetle, but I've got a...
You have a new Beetle?
When I was a kid.
Do you really have a new Beetle?
I do.
Oh my God, tell me all about it. What they like? Now, they look the same, right? Or are they different in any major way we could tell, or what?
Well, I mean, it's water-cooled. This one's got a 5-cylinder engine. It's actually green, too.
Oh, be darn. Is it pretty much still the bubble? I'm trying to remember if I've seen a modern Beetle lately, and I don't think I have. Does it still look like the original Beetle, basically?
It's still got the bubble shape, but when I was a kid, our property, my parents' property, bordered Peachtree Creek.
Uh-huh.
And if it rained, we had stuff float down all the time. The old Beetles would float.
Yes, that's right. They would. And they did a commercial. I remember the commercials. You're showing the Beetle floating in a lake or something. That's right.
We had a Beetle float down Peachtree Creek, stop on the back part of our property.
Are you serious?
My dad called the police. DeKalb County came out. Cop came out, looked, scratched his head, called the tow truck driver. He came out and looked, said, "We'll get back to you." And before they got back to us, it rained again and it floated away.
You imagine the guys, "Where's my car?" I wonder if it floated back to him. Oh my gosh! Well, now on the new one, is it? Are they automatic now, or they still have the little 4-speed stick shift, or what are they like these days?
Well, this one's an automatic. It's a 2.5 5-cylinder engine. It's got some giddy up to it.
I'll bet it does. And I assume radio air conditioning. It's got all the thing. Is it having like electronic gauges and dashboard stuff like that these days? Like all the modern cars all seem to have.
Well, I mean, this has got the gauges are a combination of digital and analog.
Yeah.
It's got a regular old-fashioned speedometer in it.
I'll be darned. Oh, that's cool. And I can ask you, I'm trying to remember what I paid for my wife's Volkswagen Super Beetle when it first came out in the early 70s. And I'm thinking I traded in an old Oldsmobile Cutlass, and I gave the guy $1,500 and an old Cutlass, and he gave me the new Super Beetle. I bet they cost a little more than that these days.
Just a little bit more.
Oh, I love it. Well, listen, thanks. That's a great story, man. And are you happy? Do you like your car? Are you happy with it? People should look into this thing as a basis of transportation. And by the way, I know they have a lot more room in them than people think, too. Isn't that true? Would you agree with that?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I got the back seat once, and like they never got out. I won't do that again.
Okay, well, there you go. All right, well, listen, thanks. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. 452. There you go. Well, that's nice.
We'll see.
Thanks, man. You have a great day. I'm sorry, Flounder, we have a little something here?
Yes, we have Leela now who has a story about the Beetle.
Leela, welcome, doll. How's it going? What's up?
Hey, Kenna. When I was a freshman at Agnes Scott, I was on a blind date. This is back in '69. And luckily, this was not the blind date that left to a 50-plus year marriage. That was the day before.
Oh, my.
This was a horrendous. This was the next day. And this guy picked me up, and we were having a double date with his roommate, who drove a Beetle. And it already started out sort of bad. But anyway, so I got in the back seat of the car, was fine. And my date got in, and all of a sudden I heard this blomp. And he had put his foot through the floor.
Oh, man.
Beetle. And we had to drive through to get his car. And, of course, Agnes Scott, you're going to go over the railroad tracks. And there's this, big hole, and we're looking down and go, yep, there are the railroad tracks.
Holy smoke. Well, boy, those were the date. Now, what about the guy? How did the date go, and did you ever stick with the guy or what?
Oh, God, no. I did have another date with him, but he was such a complete ass that, no, we didn't go very far.
Well, there you go. Well, good for you. Well, thanks, Lynn. Thanks, sweetie. You have a great day out there. What a nice story. The Volkswagens are leading all kinds of goofy things here. What a funny little car. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, 454. And Flounder, a little something here. I think we may want to do a little something there with... a little something there for Pete, maybe, and the boys there. There we go. Almost. There we go. Now we're talking. The Kimber, Pete, and Flounder on your Wednesday. And we got memes, we got jokes, we got stuff, we got Pete, we got a thing we call Pete's Tweets.
Babylon Bee headline reads, California unveils massive new escape room. It's called California. Dear old people, waking up at 6 a.m., tending a garden, eating dinner at 5 p.m., reading books, and going to bed at 9:30 at night feels amazing. I don't do it, but I think others enjoy it.
Well, I can relate to it.
Sam tweets, thanks to the people who walked into my life and made it better. And thanks to the ones who walked out and made it amazing.
Even better, yes. Well, I can relate
Sometimes
to that,
I like to say to people, I hope the rest of your day is as pleasant as you are. And then watch their face as they try to determine if it was a compliment or not. Never odd or even spelled backward is still never odd or even.
Oh, no kidding. That's the longest one of those pentagrams, whatever they call it, that I've ever heard of, I think.
Palindrome?
Yeah, isn't that what it is? Something like that. Say it again. Never, what is it?
Never odd or even.
Never odd or even. Backwards is never odd or even. I'll be damned.
That's right.
Cool.
I may look normal, but deep down inside, I want to become an octopus so I can slap 8 people at once.
Oh, I relate to that.
Okay. There are kids being born whose parents were not alive when the movie Shrek came out.
Wow.
2001.
Wow.
Yeah. In a decade? A decade is how long, Kimmer?
10 years, sir.
A century?
100 years, sir.
A millennium?
1,000 years, sir.
Yeah, but together forever? Oh, about 8 months.
I was going to say 12 years, 13, 15 years. Somewhere in that area. Depends how long it takes you to find somebody better, I guess. 456. By the way, speaking of weird things, and I guess we were about to, Obama the Musical. Holy cow, somebody's come out with a thing called Obama the Musical. A guy named Eli Bowman, writer, director, composer, producer, wrote the musical a few years ago, and it's now been premiered at the Hollywood Room a couple years ago. And now the musical, a comedic take on Barack Hussein's tenure in the White House, is on social media going viral, including a cringeworthy sex scene, which has people going nuts. Michelle Obama, played by some girl named Shanice. Barack Puditat, played by a former contestant on The Voice, TJ something, singing about making White House love. Michelle's character wore a long white silk robe. The two hold hands and sing about their desire to make love in the White House as they're singing. Joe Biden, played by another guy, interrupts and hilariously attempts to join in for a menage a trois with the Obamas in the White House. The video on social media, why? I put the blame on Tyler Perry, one guy says. Y'all laughing, this is technically the same thing as Hamilton crying emoji after that. Y'all blaming everybody except the real culprit, Lin-Manuel Miranda. I don't even know who that is. And
He did Hamilton.
Oh, the Hamilton movie, yeah. And the Obamas are suing. Definitely going to sue somebody. I don't mind more. The Flounder's funny right there. What do you got there?
Just in case there's any confusion in the room here.
Yeah, we like her.
Particularly with the men.
Yeah.
Just to let you know, you've got a different relationship with your mum to the one that we do. Now, I realise I'm making a generalisation here. I understand that. But I think on the whole that this stands up. Mothers and sons, very different from mothers and daughters, okay? Now, if I was to encapsulate that relationship, mothers and sons, it would be like this. Mummy loves you very much. No, darling, you don't do anything. Mummy will do it for you. Mummy's going to bring it over to you, silly. You just go out, you achieve, you do whatever you want because Mummy believes in you. Now, kisses from a very special boy. Come back here. Mothers and daughters is a bit more like this. You look fat in that.
You going to wear that? Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. On this day in 2006, the Coors Brewing Company's CEO and their TV pitchman, Coors Brewing guy Peter Coors, is arrested for DWI. Well, that's not... It's not a good advertising gimmick. By the way, the first women to graduate from the United States Military Academy at West Point were graduated on this day in 1980. And Walter Matthau, famous for saying on this day, I never mind my wife having the last word. In fact, I'm delighted when she gets to it.
Ooh.
Yeah. By the way, coming up, the Lemmers on my Facebook thing for an unusual statistic, which I'll bet you probably know. Did you? I wonder if this popped up on your phone too. Anyway, just having warm memories of the Lemmer and Blouser and all those guys. And we got Holy Crap at Sports coming up to help remember those two things. But Kimber, Pete, and Flounder, 5 o'clock standing by on 106.3, the Farm of Atlanta.
Morning Extra, every weekday morning from 6 to 10 on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta on Dickey Broadcasting Station, Extra 106.3.
Humanitarian heartbreak in Gaza. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Hospital officials reporting 4 people dead after hundreds of Palestinians stormed a United Nations food warehouse today, some tearing off pieces of the building to get inside. This even as a new U.S. and Israel-backed group opens more of its aid distribution sites. A crowd at one of those sites leading to shots fired yesterday and at least 1 Palestinian death. It's day 600 of the war between Israel and Hamas.
Family members of the remaining 58 hostages still held inside Gaza gathered today in Tel Aviv. They expressed frustration with the Israeli government for not reaching a ceasefire deal and bringing their loved ones home.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff offering hope for progress in peace efforts earlier today, saying he has good feelings about getting to a temporary ceasefire and long-term resolution. New pardons from President Trump.
A full presidential pardon has been granted to Michael Grimm, a former New York congressman who pleaded guilty in 2014 to falsifying a tax return. He was sentenced to 7 months in prison. The Republican represented a Long Island House district from 2011 to 2015. Former Connecticut Governor John Rowland is also being granted a pardon. The Republican resigned in 2004 before pleading guilty to a corruption charge.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The president also issuing pardons for reality TV stars Todd and Julie Chrisley, who were serving time in federal prison for fraud and tax evasion convictions. A second sentence just in for a deadly case of human smuggling. A family of 4 from India freezing to death as they tried to enter the U.S. along a remote stretch of Canadian border. The convicted smuggling ringleader sentenced to 10 years in prison. The man who was supposed to pick up the family just sentenced to more than 6 years. America is listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of bike. Legs on bikes. Back. Help, help, help. I tell you. Road guards out. Help, help. Stand by. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. How's it going? It's a Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder at 503 on 106.3. Happy Hump Day. Our number 404-741-1230. 741-1230 if you would like to join us. All is well in the world. Let's see. We got Whole Decrepit Sports coming up. We got more funny stuff. We got Flounder's Funnies and your calls and a couple things you want to hear, including there's a name that's going to be talked about a lot in the future. His name is Anthony Bernal. He is the guy who was responsible for that wife, Jill Biden, the enabler of the cuckold queen, for the ruination of America for the last 4 years, basically. He's among the few insiders responsible for all the cover-up that's been going on since the election when Joe Biden won. Since before that and to the current day. By the way, I saw a video of Biden wandering around somewhere. Is he now is he out someplace? Isn't it amazing we haven't seen anything? And I guess it's because he's afraid they're going to ask him. Nobody cares. Well, they're going to ask him about the book. Once we hear about the cover-ups. I mean, and again, obviously the Democrats want nothing to do with him. Oh, anyway, I mean, the whole thing's a freaking scandal. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? Let's see. A thing, I saw this morning. I didn't even know they were still doing this. Before we get back into the newsy things, we're going to do that David Hogg soundbite here, Flounder, and also the Donald Trump thing. Once again, if you missed it, Donald Trump once again opened up the White House. He was there today. Says, okay, bring the media in, and he started doing the business of the country there with the media, doing interviews, answering questions. Astounding. I mean, it just. I mean, honestly, I don't think people are understanding. Because I see it. Because I'm in here, working on the show, getting ready before 3. It's early in the morning, but when I come in here, I can see the stuff that's going on live at like noon and 1 o'clock at the White House, and that's when Donald Trump does a lot of this live stuff. He starts working in public. It's so refreshing. It's like he's right there. He's answering any question. He's handling the media. Once he called out another media guy today saying, "Oh yeah, I don't, that's ridiculous. I'm not talking to you anymore." I mean, it's astounding.
That's why Democrats hate it though, because they like to do things behind closed doors in secret.
Well, they have people running the puppet masters by running the.
Because if you heard what they were going to do, you wouldn't vote for it, and you don't want it.
It's unbelievable. Anyway, we'll get to all that coming up in just 30 seconds or so. But first, I wanted to say good wishes and happy future to Deborah Norville. Deborah Norville, and I didn't know this was, I have to admit to you, I haven't even seen this listed on either the TV Guide or when I go through the TV looking for what's on TV at any given night. Inside Edition is still apparently on TV. I hadn't heard of Inside Edition for 30 years.
I know.
I mean, seriously, I used to watch it a lot, but it used to be one of those very popular shows, and then I don't know what happened, but Deborah Norville, Georgia native, of course, is leaving Inside Edition after 30 years. She said, "It's nice to leave on top. I'm swimming in gratitude." Deborah Norville is 66. She's been married to her husband for 38 years. They're going to take a trip to Europe. Syndicated game show is in her future. They're called The Perfect Line, which they're going to shoot at the Fayetteville Studios, Trilith Studios in Fayetteville this summer. And I remember Deborah Norville. In fact, God, she was a local star for quite a while.
Fox 5.
Fox 5. She went to. In fact, I remember when I was in Chicago working for ABC and WLS, and I did a story about a guy who was abusing young Marine recruits at the local Naval Air Station or wherever it was outside of Chicago. I don't know whether it was Waukegan or someplace. And Deborah Norville was then working for CBS. And I remember actually it was the first time I met her in person. This was in like 81 or 2, probably something like that, as I recall. I mean, I knew of her and everybody knew of her, but I had never actually met her in person before, covering the same story. And I remembered thinking to myself, oh my God, not only is she stunning, I mean, she was just a beautiful woman, but she was huge. I mean, she's wearing high heels, I guess, but I remember thinking she's enormous. I mean, it looked like she was like 6 feet tall and solid. I mean, everything proportionally perfect, but really the exact opposite of petite, but perfectly proportioned. I mean, she was just a really beautiful, stunning woman and smart. I was impressed with, she was confident, assertive, smart, didn't take any crap off. I mean, obviously, all business. And I was really quite impressed with her. And of course, I remember, various celebrity publicity things that happened with her, dating back in the famous years and so forth before she got married.
From Dalton, Georgia.
Dalton, Georgia, that's right. Deborah Norville. She's retiring from that, and she's going to do a game show. She's 66. Now, congratulations. Hope you're doing great. All right, 509, Cameron Peyton Flounder.
That's what you should do, a game show.
I should do a game show. In fact, I'll tell you what, I would love to do one of those like underground garage overnight TV live show things, where they just you bring it in and you go. It's like, who's the guy, the two Canadian guys, who are doing, yeah.
Oh, no, that was the Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Yeah, Bob and McKay. Yeah, do something like that,
Then it was Garth and...
Garth and Drape. Oh, no. Hey, Wade. Hey, Garth. Oh, it's not Wade. What Wayne and Garth. Wayne's World, yeah.
Wayne's World.
That's what I
Wayne's World with Wayne and Garth.
Yeah, I want to do that. That's what I want to do.
Which was in Illinois.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, Dr. Jill, the enabling queen, the cuckold queen, has her top aide, Anthony Bernal, is going to be called before Congress. He's one of the few guys, he and this girl. There's a girl named Annie Tomasini, and they are Joe Biden's inner pod people. They call it the Politburo. They ran everything. They steered Biden's political orbit. They were the masterminds behind loading teleprompters whenever he had to talk to anybody. They earned a reputation for trash-talking fellow aides. People describe this guy Bernal as the worst person they've ever met. One guy says, I wouldn't even want him at my funeral. Loyalty is a weapon. He said, are you a Biden person? Is that guy a Biden person? And steered everything. They worked in tandem, Jill Biden and this guy Bernal, keeping score of who was with them and who was against them. The chief organizer and supporter of the president's decision to run for re-election and everything else. And now, if you don't think the fix was in about this guy Bernal, even this little punk David Hogg, who ran away from the slaughter at high school to go get his camera and then came back and took pictures and became a DNC Democrat. Well, first their vice chairman guy, and now they're turning on him. Anyway, David Hogg, a little soundbite here of him being caught on secret interview stuff. In fact, hold on a second. I got a quick interview. It's right here on my
Veritas.
phone. Yeah, here we go. Project Veritas. And he said the chief of staff, Anthony Bernal, secretly ran the White House in bombshell footage by Project Veritas. Flounder, if you will, David Hogg.
The question for me is how corrupt is the DNC if so many people knew or few people knew about Biden? Well, the president of the United States. I mean, just the fact of the matter is the DNC is always going to be like the campaign arm of the president, ultimately. The bigger issue was like the inner circle that was around Biden. That's it. Like Joe Biden's chief of staff, like had an enormous amount of power.
Joe Biden?
Joe Biden's chief of staff.
That was like an open secret.
The girl.
Like, I would avoid him. Like, he was scary.
What was his name?
Anthony Bernal.
I've never seen him.
He's like a shadowy, like, Wizard of Oz type figure. That's what made him so, like, I knew how he looked, but like, the general public wouldn't know how this man looked. But he wielded an enormous amount of power, and I can't stress to you how much power he had at the White House.
Yeah, so Biden wasn't running the country. Neither was Carmela, some of the reaction here. The Wizard of Oz behind the curtain was Jill's chief of staff. This isn't a presidency. It's a puppet show. Biden had wandered stage and forgot names. Unelected operatives like Anthony Bernal were pulling strings behind the curtain. That's what we call democracy, Democrats. Under President Trump, we knew exactly who's in charge. It's not some shadow staffer hiding behind the whole thing. It's alarming. David Hogg was aware of this and admits that he didn't worry about anybody, a president with no authority. Numerous people pulling strings behind the scenes. The aides did it all, one after another after another. And by the way, Anthony Bernal is an accused sexual harasser. The New York Post did a whole expose on this guy, and Jill's been shielding him, called her work husband, from sexual harassment allegations. I mean, this whole freaking thing. And by now, even a group of, Power the Future, a pro-energy group, says Joe Biden didn't even sign about 6 or 7 of these major shifts in domestic energy policy was done by AutoPen, and they want an investigation. Growing evidence, a small coterie of advisors without his knowledge or his name used this signature with the AutoPen to get all this done. And they wanted, and this guy Bernal and this girl Annie, they're 2 of the 4 people that were going to be grilled by Congress. They've already been sent a letter. We want you to testify, and if they refuse, they're going to get subpoenaed. And it can't come anytime too soon. 5:13, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Sports, let me tell. It's all coming up here at 106.3, the farm of Atlanta, WFOM, baby. And it's all next. Look out.
Extra from 6 to 10. Glenn back until noon. Clay and Buck from noon to 3. And the Kimmer Show on your ride home from 3 to 6. Plus Jesse Kelly from 6 to 9. And Jimmy Vela from 9 to midnight. The voices you need all day with a conservative voice of Atlanta. Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's here to tell you about a new company that is changing the way people buy their next pre-owned car or truck. At The Honest Car Guy, they offer a completely transparent way to purchase a vehicle. You pay what he pays, plus a small honest fee. You can choose any make or model. He will search the country for the best deal out there. He'll handle the paperwork, your trade-in, shipping, and even give you the bill of sale. Friends, I've done the research, and this is a buying process that you can trust. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1 or visit online at honestcarguy.com.
The older I get, the more I think about trust. I think about the people in my life who have my trust and earned my trust, and the trust that I have placed in some people who I later learned abused that trust. I know we're alike in that way. We don't trust a lot of people anymore. It's like we're all Ronald Reagan, trust but always verify to make sure we're not making a mistake. I find it a little exhausting, quite honestly, and that's why I started realestateagentsitrust.com. I didn't have good experiences with buying and selling my homes. So we built Real Estate Agents I Trust to introduce you to one of the thousands of agents all over the country that we work with that we have verified that they will help you have the most successful and good real estate transaction possible. Our network agents share our sensibilities, have great track records, are good and decent people, and I trust them to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're moving across town or across the country, visit realestateagentsitrust.com. The name says it all. realestateagentsitrust.com.
The Dean's List with Janice Dean.
Strangers helping strangers make
Today's Dean's List for helping rebuild in North Carolina almost a year after a hurricane destroyed communities. Areas like Chimney Rock Village that were crushed by Hurricane Helene last year are finally being rebuilt by people who don't even live in the area. Every store on the once historic Main Street is now coming back thanks to donated materials from across the U.S. and Amish volunteers from Pennsylvania and the Great Needs Trust. Amos Stolfus is one of the wonderful people that have come to the Chimney Rock Village to clean the campground and use their skills to put the town back together. Folks who were left with nothing are now back on their feet again. Between the Great Needs Trust volunteers and hundreds of others from all over the country, they're hopeful for their future thanks to the kindness and generosity of others. Janice Dean, Fox News.
Well, look out. Was on this day, the feast day of St. Bernard of Menthon in 12-something or other. He established hostels along the St. Bernard Pass where they use rescue dogs to save the climbers. And now, holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
Braves bats go silent again as they're shut out in Philadelphia 2-0 last night. Yeah. Spencer Strider pitched well but got no support. He falls to 0-3 after going 4 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 4 walks, and 7 strikeouts. He deserved better. The Phillies got a scare when Bryce Harper took a knee and grasped his right arm, then walked to the clubhouse. Harper left in the first inning, hit by the right elbow, a 95-mile-per-hour fastball from Strider. He didn't mean to do it. No. Harper has a bruise. An X-ray was negative, and Strider said, quote, "I'm not a complete sociopath, so I have some empathy," end quote.
Well, that's a good sign.
Even if he went to Clemson. Well. Harper is hitting .267, 8 homers, and 33 ribbies this season, but is only hitting .188 in the regular season against Strider so far in his career. Yeah, so there's no reason to hit him. No. Tonight's game is rained out, so there will be a split doubleheader tomorrow, hopefully. Game 1 has A.J. Smith-Shawver scheduled against Christopher Sanchez. Then the marquee matchup tomorrow night, Chris Sale against Zach Wheeler. I was listening to the pregame show on 680 with Barrett Salih and Chris Domino, and I think one of them said that Ranger Suarez, the starting pitcher for the Phillies last night, in that ballpark, that bandbox up there, had an ERA this year over 8.
Whoa.
And the Braves couldn't touch him.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Suarez.
I mean, Suarez,
Ranger Suarez. Yeah.
Oh, holy cow.
Couldn't touch him. I don't know what's going on, but you know what? They set records 2 years ago with almost the same people. They faded last year, and so they got rid of the hitting coach, and now they're worse this year with the new guy. So how long do you put up with before you start changing either players or coaches?
Well, that's got to be something mental, right? I mean, they must know. I mean,
something's going on. Yeah. Bravo is still in third place now, 9.5 games behind the first place Phillies.
Wow.
It's not even June.
Yeah, that's not
They're 8 games or so behind the Mets, who are in second place. Told you yesterday how former Brave shortstop Orlando Arcia signed with maybe the worst team ever in Major League history, the Rockies.
Yeah.
Now we find out Orlando turned down a chance to play for both the Mets and Yankees in order to sign with Colorado, and they're thinking, well, better chance to play in the majors, less chance of being stuck down in the minors.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, you can't blame him really for a loss unless he starts really booting everything. But
what would you do? What would you do?
I don't know.
Would you sign with the Rockies with a chance of playing, even though they have a shortstop, or would you go to play maybe minor leagues for the Yankees and Mets and hopefully get called up?
I don't know if I'd want to live. Well, their minor league team. Where their minor league teams? Somewhere in New York State, I'm guessing, right?
I don't know. You know, the Mets used to be in Norfolk, didn't they?
Yeah. I don't know.
Binghamton, and the Yankees used to be in Columbus, Ohio. I don't know if they're still AAA in Columbus, Ohio.
That's what I'm wondering. I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd want to be in New York as a baseball player, but unless I was a star.
The Falcons held their first team practice yesterday. It's voluntary right now. All 5 of the Falcons draft picks were present. Edge rusher Jalen Walker and defensive back Billy Bowman Jr. were the only 2 who received first-team reps during the 11-on-11. That Pierce kid did not get first-team reps.
Okay. Well, it's early. First day.
Kirk Cousins, a no-show.
Oh, boy.
Former Steelers Hall of Fame quarterback Terry Bradshaw, not a fan of his former team flirting with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
During an interview on an Arkansas radio station, Bradshaw said, quote, "That to me is just a joke. What are you going to do? Bring him in for 1 year? Are you kidding me? That guy needs to stay in California, go somewhere and chew on bark and whisper to the gods out there," end quote.
Terry doesn't really hold back much these days,
Nope, not at all. Go out there and chew on bark.
That's funny.
And talk to the guy.
Well, he's got a point. How long is he going to be around? And
I wouldn't touch Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, it's over.
No.
I think it's just.
I would rather have Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. That's probably true.
Tyrese Halliburton recorded a historic triple-double, 32 points, 15 assists, and 12 rebounds. Did not commit a turnover to lead the Pacers to a 130-121 win. Gave them a commanding 3-1 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals over the Knickerbockers. I'm surprised the Knicks got one game.
Yeah.
Halliburton became the first player in playoff history to put up at least 30 points, 15 assists, and 10 rebounds without a turnover since they first tracked this in 1977.
Wow.
Yet you still have the Stephen A. Smiths of the world saying, "Oh, this guy's not a superstar because he's doing it against his beloved Knickerbockers."
Well.
Please. Stop me if you heard this one before, but an athlete does not play well, gets angry at the crowd, tries to divert attention away from their bad play or behavior by claiming they were called racist names.
Yeah.
Despite every swinging Richard these days having a cell phone and recording every single moment in time, no proof of said racist comments are ever found.
Well, I can't believe that.
The WNBA announcing it could not substantiate a report of racist fan behavior in Indianapolis at the Indy-Chicago game earlier this month. Based on info gathered to date, including from relevant fans, team, and arena staff, as well as audio and video review of the game, we have not substantiated it, the WNBA says. Now, they've been investigating what they termed as hateful fan comments alleged to have occurred between Caitlin Clark when she fouled Angel Reese in the season opener. Now, Reese objected to the foul, which was later upgraded to a flagrant 1. Both Reese and Indy's Aaliyah Boston were assessed technical fouls after Reese went to confront Clark, and Boston stepped in to keep the players separated. After the game, Reese and Clark, who were meeting for the 7th time in their ongoing and much talked about rivalry, have downplayed the incident between them. Reese says it's basketball play, refs got it right, move on. Neither team mentioned nor alluded to any fan remarks in the post-game news conferences after the 93-58 victory by Indiana. Only after it became a topic on social media did the league decide to investigate, and people started talking about how bad Angel Reese was playing. Now, the guy on before us, Clay Travis, calls Angel Jussie Smollett with a worse shooting percentage.
She's a hood rat.
Well, she's from LSU. What do you expect? Still no comment from the WNBA about Atlanta Dream race baiter Brittany Griner's racist comment about white women that actually was caught on camera.
Yeah. Well, she can get away with it because she's, she or whatever.
Well, she's a man.
Yeah, she's a guy. Let's see with her shirt off.
Talks like a man. Yeah, anyway, probably not a man, but
I don't know.
In our opinion.
That's all right.
Have you ever made the embarrassing faux pas of asking a pregnant woman when she's due and she says, "I'm not pregnant"?
That's right.
We've all had moments like that.
Yes.
Kind of like what Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson once did. Back in 2011, The Rock returned to WWE where he met a young person from the Make-A-Wish Foundation named Dylan Postal.
Oh, boy.
Make-A-Wish grants the wishes of kids with life-threatening illnesses. Dylan was waiting backstage where he met The Rock. That's when Dylan said, The Rock extended his arm out and said, "Did you have a good time tonight, buddy?" Then he tapped me on the shoulder and left. Now, ordinarily, this would have made a Make-A-Wish child's night. Except Dylan Postal is not a Make-A-Wish child. He's a WWE wrestler who dresses up like a leprechaun and goes by the name Hornswoggle. He is a dwarf WWE wrestler that The Rock did not recognize and mistook as a kid from the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And it gets worse. Hornswoggle, who had just wanted to meet his hero and drink tequila shots with him, immediately told another wrestler in an effort to get some sympathy. Instead, Kofi Kingston texted 100 people, and they texted 100 more people, and it became a huge joke in the wrestling community, which they never let the poor guy forget.
Oh, my gosh.
That's the long and short of it. Kind of dwarfs everything else that happened that night.
Well, there you go.
Today in sports history, May 28, 1971, third baseman Clete Boyer, released by the Braves, retired after dispute with GM Paul Richards and manager Lum Harris over team rules and alleged mismanagement. Boyer was riding a 9-game hit streak at the time of his retirement. I met Clete and his son up in Cooperstown back in the early 2000s. They were both gentlemen. Clete Boyer, Brooks Robinson, and Darrell Evans were my favorite third sackers and why I played the position in Little League. I love watching those guys play.
They were great at it.
And you never knew. You go to Cooperstown, you don't know who you're going to run into at the diner, at the card shops. You have no clue. Yeah. I met Ernie Harwell at the Hall of Fame, just walking around a corner. I mean, it's just you never know who you're going to meet, no matter what time of year.
Just tell if you love to take excursions in America and see what's going on, stuff, the Adirondacks, the Catskills, that part of New York State. I mean, honestly,
Finger
in Cooperstown, the whole deal. The guy with the no head pumpkin horse riding guy, the Sleepy Hollow. It's all there. It's
Hudson
real.
River Valley.
Yeah.
The Tappan Zee. New York State is one of the prettiest states. Yeah. You get out of New York and go to the state. It's beautiful. Yeah. 1982, during your argument with the umpires, Durham Bull skipper Bobby Dews, who later was third base coach for the Braves, and my first interview I remember Bobby Dews.
Yeah.
Throws second base into the stands and then takes his jersey off and powders under his arms with a rosin bag before kicking it into the air. Now, it's not as good as the Mississippi Braves guy who crawled out to the mound and acted like it was a grenade and tossed it to the umpire.
I remember that video. I think I saw
pretty good.
Oh, my.
2006, the Braves established a new club record. They hit 8 homers, a 13-12 win over the Cubs. Marcus Giles, Andrew Jones, Ryan Langerhans, Brian Pena, Edgar Renteria, and Adam LaRoche. LaRoche and Renteria hit 2 homers apiece.
Wow.
An 11-inning slugfest at Wrigley Field.
Okay.
Those are some names from the past.
Yeah.
1742, the first indoor what opened in London?
The first indoor soccer pitch.
Close. No. Swimming pool.
Swimming pool, I'll be darned. 17 what?
Well, I'm sure back in the Roman or Greek times they probably had some, in the Persian Empire they probably had some, stuff, but first that we knew. Yeah. 50 Indianapolis 500, Bob Swikert won, but defending champion Bill Vukovich was killed in a crash when he was on his way to an unprecedented third straight Indy win.
Oh, boy.
Bill Vukovich. Yeah. 1962, The Wide World of Sports premiered on radio. Yeah. Who was the host of Wide World of Sports?
That was Keith Jackson.
Close. Chris Schenkel.
Oh, I remember Chris Schenkel. Oh, my God. He did all the bowling. Didn't he do all the bowling matches?
Yeah, he did the bowling. And it was not ABC's Wide World of Sports. CBS when it started out.
You skipped out. It was on, what'd you say, CBS? We lost you for a second there.
Yeah, CBS. It started on CBS, not ABC.
Okay.
Yeah. 1973, Indy 500. Gordon Johncock, one of the great names in sports, wins the first of 2 Indies out there. The rain shortened it. And Eddie Matthews is a Hall of Fame third baseman who played for the Milwaukee Braves. When asked why he hit the way he did, Eddie said, "My mother used to pitch to me and my father would shag balls. If I hit one up the middle close to my mother, I'd have extra chores to do. My mother was instrumental in making me a pull hitter."
Wasn't he like with the youngest guy drafted out of high school or some silly thing? I mean, there's something about Eddie Matthews that stands out, and I can't remember what the heck it is about his age and his abilities or something. Might know.
Wrong. I think at one time, and they may still have the record that he and Hank Aaron hit the most home runs as a.
Yep. Well, we lost you again.
Those 2 together. He had over 500.
Hold on, let me reset him.
Yeah, we're gonna have to reset your thing.
Reboot me while you're doing something.
Real quick.
Well, okay. While he's doing that, I will pass this along. A couple other things here, Pete Davis, which you know, and you hate this because I won't do the whole story. 2006, Barry Bonds hits number 715 to pass Babe Ruth.
Why did you do that?
I know. Giants out the thing, and Major League history, boom. Passing Hank Aaron, becoming the thing when his August 7th, 2007, hit 756 of the total. So
no, he didn't.
Screw
He's
you.
not the home
He's
run
not
king.
the home
Hank
run.
Aaron is the home run king.
He'll never be the home run king. Now, on this day in 1957, National League owners vote unanimously to allow the New York Giants and the Brooklyn Dodgers to move to San Francisco and Los Angeles at their Chicago meeting in Illinois. Conditions attached. First, either both teams had to move or neither could. So if one team reconsidered, the other would get screwed. Secondly, both teams had to announce their plans before October 1st in 1957. Both teams did move. Giants had a farewell party at the game on September 29th. Dodgers announced their move October 8th. West Coast fans were overjoyed, and the people of New York City were very upset with the whole deal.
Beginning of the end of New York City as the number one city in the world. They had started their decline, and Brooklyn actually thought about building a dome stadium in the late 50s for the Dodgers, and they voted against it.
People didn't want a dome stadium in Brooklyn. And on this day in 1951, Willie Mays hits his first Major League home run. 1951. And later told me, crap, when I tried to interview him. No, he didn't say that. 5:31, Kipper, Peyton, Flounder. It's Hump Day. And we got all your stuff there. We got a game, we got Flounder's Funnies, and it's all coming up.
Get connected to Extra 106.3 on all your favorite apps. Then download ours and stream the station across Georgia. We're live online at extra1063.com. Stream live video from the studios on YouTube. And of course, Kimmer, Bortz, and your favorite Extra shows in crystal clear digital on the Extra 106.3 app.
Back by popular demand, D. Geller & Son Jewelers Watches and Whiskey event is June 13th through 15th only at D. Geller & Son Sandy Springs, where we're celebrating summer and Father's Day by bringing in an incredible variety of new and pre-owned luxury Swiss timepieces. Fan favorites like Tissot and Omega, showstoppers like Rolex and Breitling, and while you're browsing, enjoy complimentary whiskey tastings thanks to Old Fourth Distillery. June 13th through 15th, learn more at dgeller.com.
Special Olympics Georgia is teaming up with Dunkin' Donuts for Cops on Donut Shops on June 6th from 6 to 10 a.m. Join us for the torch run and then some treats with our heroes on the streets. Together, we'll help raise money and awareness for Special Olympics Georgia athletes. Drive through and donate at participating Dunkin' Donuts June 6th or at specialolympicsga.org.
We all know the importance of good daily habits, whether it's getting your steps in, stretching those limbs, or eating right. Doing it on the regular is key. That's why if you're dealing with everyday aches and pain, it's time to bring Relief Factor into your routine. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, Relief Factor uses a special formula of 4 natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain, it helps reduce or even eliminate it. In fact, the longer you take it, the more effective it is. So call 1-800-4-RELIEF and try their 3-week quick start for only $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Simply call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Wherever you're having pain, don't let it keep you from living the life you want. Make Relief Factor part of your daily routine. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
I wasn't sure whether it was with Gwinnett. Now, I don't know how he's doing. Is he? He's 37, and he's still got some stuff. We'll see.
Well, the way Russell is pitching, he may be up here.
Well, who can figure? And again, they get Acuna back, they get Sergeant Stryker back, and they're still losing. I know.
I warned you.
Craig Kimple, 37. Jerry West, he's still alive, 87 years old.
No,
he died, right?
Jerry,
He died.
I thought Jerry's passed.
I looked it up again because I thought he died, and then I looked up, and again, it's Jerry West, 87, gave his birthday and everything. I thought he passed away, but they didn't. When I Googled it,
he passed away June 12th last year.
Wow, that's what I thought, and I don't know why I didn't say that. I'm sorry, Jerry West, 87. And one more, Michael Oher, O-H-E-R, 39, the former offensive tackle whose life inspired The Blind Side. And then he sued and said they tried to cheat him out of not being actually adopted or something. And,
I mean, who knows?
God, I just can't believe it. It was such a heartwarming story, especially with that wife. Yeah, I know. I just don't get it. And one more thing. I mentioned I kind of teased this earlier. Pete Davis, this was an amazing story. And again, back years and years ago, when we were probably more closely aligned with the Braves baseball team, 680 does it here, but we as individuals don't really have that much to do with the Braves individually as we used to years ago at another station. And I spent a lot of time with Mark Lemke and Jeff Blauser and a lot of those different. I did a show with Blauser every week, once a week. And Mark Lemke, the Lemmer, one of our favorite people, and I'd have him on, we would call him, hey, Kimmer.
Hey, Kimmer.
He was just such but he was such a sweet man, just a really nice guy, pleasant, down to earth, everything else. And this is a memory that popped up on my phone. Mark Lemke, hit me with your best shot, strange but true. The Lemmer has the Major League Baseball record for most career plate appearances without being hit by a single pitch for his whole career. Wow. 3,664 times at the plate, and he never got hit with a pitch. Lemmer says, I can't account for it. I was hit 23 times in 3,000 appearances in the minor league. I was hit by a pitching machine one spring training. But in the majors, almost 4,000 appearances and never got hit by a ball. I mean, that's really fairly astounding. Wow. Anyway, let's see. 5:37, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder here on 106.3. We're going to play a little Donald Trump here, Flounder, if you don't mind. Once again, the actual real president opened up the White House to the media today to watch him work. And I mean, it's really he does it pretty much every day. He'll be signing something or having something, visiting the White House, and he'll just bring the press in and say, what do you want to know? And he talks about what he's doing, what he thinks, and any issues free to talk about. He scolds reporters who are trying to nail him, stuff like that. But he's it's unbelievable. And one reporter asked about the chance of war in Ukraine coming to an end and whether they're going to do something. And Donald Trump had a whole history lesson for all of them. Flounder, if you will.
We would have never had a war if I were president. If the election weren't rigged, you wouldn't have had the war. You wouldn't have had the war. You wouldn't have had inflation. You wouldn't have had October 7th. That would have never happened because Iran was stone cold broke. They didn't have any money to give to Hamas or Hezbollah. You wouldn't have had that Afghanistan most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. You wouldn't have had any of it. You wouldn't have had inflation because energy costs. Look what happened. I brought inflation down to practically zero. And all of the groceries and all of the eggs and all of the things that you've been hearing about, they're back down. They're way down from where they were. I did something in 4 months that nobody's seen. And I have to say, in 4 months, and I said it before, and everyone's talking about it all over the world, we've got the hottest country anywhere in the world right now.
The hottest country anywhere in the world. And he's got to be right. Astounding. Oh, by the way, speaking of president and so forth, there's something new happening in social media that's popped up. Now I got to find it here for a second on my phone. I'm sorry, just 1 second. Here we go. This is something new. There's a very famous plastic surgeon doctor named Mark Epstein in New York City, but he also has practices in Florida and a bunch of places. And he says something is happening now that everybody is requesting a special look when they want their faces done. He's a dual board certified surgeon. He says there's a sudden surge in business in the late summer of last year, and it's really holding true. He said it would normally be a slow season, but support for this new effort swelled after they tried to kill Donald Trump. He said, I was getting a sense that there was a sudden change in consumer confidence. I have no other way to explain it. He said his Palm Beach office now sees 15 people a day. They want the Mar-a-Lago face, a curated blend of full lips, chiseled cheekbones, wide eyes, and smooth, taut foreheads that never wrinkle. He says he sees 15 people a day. They want Ivanka Trump's face, the president's daughter. If they say, I like her lips, I can give you the lips or the nose, but you have to have something to work with. If somebody comes in there 4'11", 200 pounds, it's not going to happen. But he says they want the Ivanka Trump face.
Wow,
and he also says another popular request, probably number 2, older clients in particular, want the face of Homeland Security's Kristi Noem. And they're coming in like crazy. And it's because of support for Donald Trump. And now the Mar-a-Lago face is cool. By the way, this was a couple of bizarre stories in the news here today, including Kevin Costner being slapped with a lawsuit over a violent, unscripted rape. It was actually a stunt rape filmed on his movie Horizon: An American Saga, Chapter 2. Now, I lost track. I stopped watching the Hell Cowboy show, Yellowstone. I stopped watching Yellowstone sometime in the last season, or maybe I saw them all, but it kind of lost me when he became governor, and he had his girlfriend, and the staff just jumped the shark for me. And I don't know anything about his other new series that he's got. I guess this is one of them, or a new movie, and he's got a series, and I don't know anything about him, like the pre-Yellowstone series or something. I don't know. I don't know anything about it, but he was doing this movie, and a 32-year-old woman named Devlin Labella has filed a complaint against the 70-year-old Costner for sexual discrimination and harassment and hostile work environment. She said she was the victim of a violent, unscripted, unscheduled rape scene by the director Costner in May of 2023. Costner says that's nonsense. There's no merit. He's comfortable with people working on the scene. They even showed some screenshots of them that she went to a dinner with him afterwards and didn't complain to anybody about it. And she sent a thank you note to one of the directors afterwards, a coordinator. She says she's worked on Barbie, American Horror Story, CSI, Yellow Jackets, The Rookie. She experienced shock, embarrassment, and humiliation attempting to process the situation of an unscripted, unplanned, violent rape scene. She was left exposed, unprotected, and deeply betrayed. Shattered my trust and forever changed how I moved through this industry. She was also not hired back to do more work afterwards after this happened. And she's charging them with a forcible pretend rape or something. I guess what it amounts to. 543. Oh, speaking of weird. And I don't know why we haven't got the exact relationship here, but a female plane passenger has been charged with child abuse, attacking a child who called her Miss Piggy. They were on a flight home to Maryland from Disney World, and she was arrested in Orlando. She was aboard the Allegiant Air flight when she attacked the kid that called her fat and referred to her as Miss Piggy, the Muppets character. This girl, Christy Crampton, started throwing punches at the child just before takeoff after he allegedly said she was too fat to sit in her seat. She punched the boy in the face, hit him with a water bottle, and then slammed his head into the airplane window. Now, here's the thing. It's unclear what their relationship is because the family's not talking about it. The kid was 3. Did I get that right? I mean, to give his age here, is he 3 years old? One witness said the kid did nothing wrong. The woman was not correcting him. She was abusing him. He was having behavioral issues, according to others. The kid was rude, disrespectful. The woman took the phone out of the child's hand and took it away from him. Apparently, the fight started over a phone. The boy refused to download Uber on the phone, and he questioned why they needed it on the plane and couldn't wait till they landed, which resulted in the argument. The woman went beyond typical disciplinary actions with multiple strikes to the head and shoving his head into the window. So they arrested her, charged with felony child abuse. And obviously they were together, but it doesn't say whether that was mom and son or guardian or babysitter or a friend of the family or Grammy, or we don't know. And this little boy apparently was having some problems, and he was mouthing off to her, and she beat the crap out of him. Slammed his head into the window, punched him, hit him with a water bottle. Holy criminy. Oh, jeez.
They'll teach him.
No. Yeah, you're probably not going to call her Miss Piggy anymore, I'll bet you. Unless he's doing it with his $100 million reward for suing her for, child, whatever. And the airline for letting it happen. I can see that coming, too. 5:45 already. Holy cow. Kim Repeat and Flounder. How's it going? Look out. We got more. Let's do a game. You want to do a game? You want to do a game? Let's do a game. Game next.
If you love 106.3, then you'll love the all-new Extra 106.3 app. It's loaded with replays of your favorite shows like The Morning Extra and The Kimmer Show, podcasts from conservative voices across the South, and access to Extra's crystal clear live stream from anywhere in Georgia. Grab it now for Apple or Android.
The warm air, the beautiful weather, and the sounds of baseball. It's got you thinking about hitting the road. And no matter where your adventures take you, Subaru of Gwinnett has a vehicle to get you there safely and in style. Like the 2025 Subaru Outback, which will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 32 miles per gallon. And if you're up for adventure, it'll get you off the beaten path with up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. More than the Honda CR-V or Toyota RAV4 or the 2025 Subaru Forester, the SUV for all you love. It's the right-sized SUV for all the adventures ahead with a spacious and comfortable interior for everyone you want to bring along. And no matter where adventure takes you, it starts on Satellite Boulevard in Duluth with the amazing staff at Subaru of Gwinnett. They'll help you find the Subaru that you'll love and be there every step of the way for everything you need. Start your shopping online at SubaruofGwinnett.com.
Kevin McAlpin here alongside Evan Ward, host of North Georgia's Retirement Game Plan, heard right here on Extra 106.3. And Evan, many Americans think having a well-funded 401k means they will have a comfortable retirement. But the question I have is that really all we need?
Kevin, that's a great question. The way the analogy I use is it's like having a really, really good play in your game, but a good play isn't a game plan. That'll work once. It's limited. What we want is a plan, a game plan throughout the entire course of your retirement that we know is set you up for success. 401ks are a great savings tool, but they're not a plan. They're a play. And so what we do is we put together an income plan as well as an investment plan to make sure that you are taking the stress out of your retirement. You've worked too long, too hard. You've made all the right decisions, sacrificed to get to this point. You've got it down to the 1 yard line. Now you need a game plan to finish it off, and that's what we provide.
And let's be honest, we stress for 30, 40 years in the workforce. That's the last thing you want to have to deal with when you get to retirement, right?
Of course, the whole point, our philosophy is let's take the stress out of retirement so that you know this new phase of your life is going to be the thing you've been working so long to enjoy.
That's the last thing you want when it comes to your retirement is stress. If it sounds like you, pick up the phone, call Evan and the team at Atlas Retirement today for a complimentary 401k X-ray. That number is 678-736-7799. 678-736-7799. Or get more details anytime online. It's atlasretirement.net. That's atlasretirement.net. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel will help you start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks. Words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks, "How's your French going?" you can say,
Babbel facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue.
Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.
How about Carrie Mulligan, 40 years old, married to Marcus Mumford of Mumford & Sons. She was Winnie Gecko, Wall Street Never Sleeps, Daisy Buchanan, and Leonardo DiCaprio's Great Gatsby. Carrie Mulligan, 40. Elizabeth Hasselbeck, 48. Was on Survivor, then The View, Fox News, and now spending time with her family. She married to the quarterback, right? The guy from Patriots. I mean, New England Patriots, right? Hasselbeck? Elizabeth Hasselbeck, married to the quarterback.
Yeah, former backup.
Yeah. And let's see, Brandon Cruz. If you know the old TV show Courtship of Eddie's Father, Brandon Cruz was a little boy. Brandon Cruz is 63 years old today. So there you go. And one more historical thing. Yes, it was on this day in 1830. President Andrew Jackson signs the Indian Removal Act. They would make Native American tribes leave their ancestral lands in states like Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee. 60,000 Indians were forced westward. The mass migration resulted in 4,000 deaths. It was known as the Trail of Tears. By 1840, nearly all Native American tribes were driven west. The Indian Removal Act had achieved its purpose. The Cherokees refused to go. They were shoved out by the military. Thousands died on the Trail of Tears. 5:52, not one world anymore. Let's see. Oh, hold on a minute. We got a little something here, Flounder. Oh, hey, hi-yo. Hey, Johnny Olson. Now let's bring down our next contestant as we bring a game. And Pete Davis, what do you got there, sir?
Well, let's start doing those silly little words that we were doing the other day.
I like it.
Yeah, you ready? All right.
Yeah.
What is elf-lock? What does that mean, elf-lock?
Elf-lock is a disease that causes dwarfism.
It's Old English. Her hair was a mess of elf-locks this morning. It's tangled hair as if knotted by elves.
Elf-locks. All right. Yeah, okay.
All right. You ever suffered from despair?
Despair, almost every day, every night, usually 3 in the morning.
The sun broke through, bringing a sense of despair. It's a return to hope after despair.
Wow, a despair. Despair and despair, I'll be damned.
Have you ever groped somebody? It's Scottish.
Frequently. I said,
I bet you have. Stop groking. It's creepy is the sentence I use.
Like my girl walking by the window.
To stare silently at someone while they are eating.
Oh, gross.
Groke. All right. You ever been crambazzled? As after the hike, we were completely crambazzled.
Exhausted.
Worn out. 18th century English. Oh, here's a good one. Callipygian. It's Greek.
Callipygian is a...
The statue was notably Callipygian.
Oversized?
Having well-shaped buttocks.
Oh, I'll be damned. I wouldn't. I have no acetol anymore. I'm suffering from no acetol.
That's for dude. Yesterfang. We'll reheat the yesterfang for dinner.
Leftovers.
That's right. A meal from the previous day or catch. Okay, Scottish word kurgloff. The lock gave me a proper kurgloff.
Oh, my.
A proper send-off?
The shock left when plunging into cold water.
Oh, my. Yeah, that'll stop your heart.
All right. Lunting, like Granddad went lunting in the garden.
Wow. Digging? Digging dirt?
Walking around while smoking a pipe.
There's a specific phrase for walking around smoking a pipe. Why didn't we think of one? Why didn't we Americans have a phrase for guys walking around smoking a pipe? I mean, you would think with all the pipe smokers in America, we would have.
There is a word. It's called lollygag. All right. Snudge. He snudged into the room, avoiding attention. It's 16th century English.
Sneaked.
To snudge.
Yeah, he sneaked it.
To move in a humble or sneaky manner. And finally, here's a word that I've started using: overmorrow. Let's meet overmorrow instead.
Oh, I used to say on the morrow.
What's that mean?
The next day. Let's meet on the morrow. Tomorrow means tomorrow.
No. The day after tomorrow is
overmorrow. Yeah, but on the morrow is tomorrow, and overmorrow was the day after today.
That's true.
Very cool.
I like that word.
Yeah, it is. That's a wonderful, sweet word. 5:55. Holy cow. By the way, my airline buddy pilot Kevin's going to love this story, and I'll bet. Think about this here too. Turkish aviation authorities now have decided to penalize aisle lice on airlines. You know what that is? Is standing in the aisle. They call them aisle lice, L-I-C-E, like head lice, aisle lice. People who stand up and crowd other passengers before they're supposed to do it. Crowded airline aisles waiting to deplane. Penalties for that are going to reach $70. Here's the deal. Infractions now include unfastening your seatbelt while the plane is still taxiing, opening overhead bins before the plane is parked, or standing up in the aisle before you're allowed to is going to be a fine. Passengers have to wait till the deplaning process has reached their row before they can stand up to gather their stuff. How many times do you see, especially if you're in a window seat and you have to get up to try to get the thing with the bend with the people and they're coming and won't let you out of the show? Well, now you're going to get fined for it in Turkey. If you stand up early, you're getting fined. If you try to get your stuff before your row is empty, in other words, if you're like in row 7, you have to wait until all the other people get by you, I guess. Or maybe if you're in 30, you have to wait till, I don't know. I mean, the other way, oh my gosh.
Yeah, how can they do it? I don't know.
We'll see. They say it's a risk to passenger and baggage safety. Crowding the aisles is against the FAA rules in America, but nobody really worries about it. Flight attendants are supposed to alert the captain if passengers are getting to their feet before the plane's parked. Those rules only apply, though, while the plane's seatbelt signs are turned on. If the captain turns off the seatbelt sign, you can get up and move around.
Well, isn't that the comedian that Flounder played a couple weeks ago? He said he betted the guy next to him $100 that somebody was going to get up. Yeah. And as soon as they were started coasting, he stood up.
He got up. Yeah. Where's my $100? Got to love it. Anyway, new airline policy, and I'll guarantee you that. I mean, that's a thing. Trying to get your stuff and get early and not get trapped and all. I mean, what a nightmare. Thank God, goodness, I only fly once a year. Maybe I haven't even flown in a couple years now, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, almost 5:58. Holy cow. FBI's investigating violence against Christians in Seattle. They've done it again and bragging about it. Anyway, how about Flounder's funny there? Flounder, there we go. See what we got to go.
So I'm trying my best. Trying not to smile. Trying not to react to noises. That's also big in a big city. If you walk down the street and you hear someone go, "Hey!" that's not for you. That's a really tough lesson to learn. All right. Every time I leave my house, I'd go, "Hey!" I'd be like, "Huh?" You know what happens? I make eye contact with the last person on the planet I've ever wanted to make eye contact with. And I'm like, "Oh, hot damn. All right." And that happens all the time. I make eye contact. You're not supposed to make eye contact in that city, but I can't help it. I can't help it. If you got a weird face, I'm going to look. If you got a funny hat or a different haircut, I'm going to take a look.
Zoltan Kazas.
Oh, that's Zoltan. I remember you talking about that guy. By the way, this was the day in history hold on a second. I got it right here. Oh, oops-a-daisy. I got it right here. In 1972, burglars working on behalf of the Nixon White House team broke into the Democrat National Committee headquarters in the Watergate Hotel in Washington, D.C., installing surveillance devices on phones and taking pictures and looking for documents. And again, if it hadn't been for the security guard seeing a piece of tape to hold the door lock open, it might never have been discovered. And again, if they think that Watergate is anywhere near as insidious as what's been going on with the Democrats and the Department of Justice and the administration for the last 4 years, it's not even close. Watergate's a Boy Scout picnic. Anyway, Kipper, Pete, and Flounder. Hoorah, Semper Fi. Tomorrow, I'll do it all over again. Christine, sing me, "Oh, baby, I gotta go. You're killing me." Hoorah, herb and herb. Look out.
The Kimmer Show is live on your ride home on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta on Dickey Broadcasting Station, Extra 106.3.